that one forward, finds Carter Lowe through the neutral zone. Lowe waits, takes the shot, kicks aside, rebound, scores! Oh, Bodwin! Welcome to the Boart Longyear Memorial Gardens in North Bay as we get ready for tonight's road broadcast between the Barrie Colts and the North Bay Battalion. This is the second half of this rivalry series between the Colts and the Battalion. Last night, North Bay with the 4-3 victory down at the Sadlin Arena, and a game really that we felt could have gone either way with just how the game was going.
Yeah, it started out, I thought it was a sloppy first period, but it was right there. The Colts had the lead going into the third, 3-2, but those back-to-back goals by North Bay proves to be the difference. And, you go back, Colts had 3 power plays early in that second period, didn't take advantage of that, but a game maybe that the Colts felt they could have had, but now they find it, a 4-game losing streak coming in and needing a big win here in North Bay.
And this is just the second meeting this season between these two Central Division rivals. And it was the first period that it seemed to be a little on the sloppy side. Something that both teams just couldn't get it going. We saw some bad turnovers in front by the North Bay Battalion that Barrie just not able to capitalize on. And then the Colts just not able to capitalize on those 3 power plays even in the second period. So this is this is a game here where really both teams have a lot of work to do coming into this afternoon.
Yeah, the first meeting this season, lots of new faces in the lineup for both these teams, and it was a little bit sloppy passes, that type of thing, and I think it was a bit of a feeling out process there, but North Bay, again, those 2 quick strike goals, and all of a sudden they're in control, but, Colts found a way to get one late. Brad Gardner, again, who's just had an outstanding start to the year, comes up big for Barrie, and right now the Colts trying to figure it out, but again, another disappointing third period effort leaves them on the short side.
Now, there was an exciting moment for the Barrie Colts last night. Kayshawn Aitchison scoring his 41st career OHL goal, and that now sets a franchise record in defensemen, passing both Brant Clark and Aaron Ekblad. So a big moment there for Aitchison and company.
Yeah, he really took a step offensively last season. We saw that, and he's continued that year. And, for a team that, at times has difficulties putting the puck in the net, you have a defenseman like that who can step up. And, he's got a big-time shot and just that knack to go to the net, know when to go to the net. And a nice setup by Asadorian for behind the net to Aitchison. But, you talk to those guys and, look, it's a nice notch in the hat. And they always, they're kind of hesitant a bit with Kayshawn to talk about it. But, kudos to the defenseman. Just been outstanding here the last couple of years. Just see him each and every year get stronger and stronger. I'm sure the Islanders are really liking, his start to this season.
Well, he now has 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points on the season, second in team scoring, only behind Brad Gardner, who had another 2 goals last night. He just continues to light the lamp, and it's quite amazing just the difference between last season when he had limited ice time and now this year where he's more in that leadership role, and we're really seeing what Brad Gardner is capable of.
Yeah, I think Dylan Smoskow's talking. There's an opportunity to play a major role in. Okay, that's fine. You get that opportunity, but you got to take advantage of it. And Brad certainly has. He's just been outstanding. He's, a lot of nights he's been their best player, shift in, shift out. And, to get that offense going for him, especially, it's got to feel good after kind of taking a bit of a backseat last year. It was a really deep hockey club, bringing in the likes of, Dallin Wakely and, Romani and, Van Stiesel. So all of a sudden, you're thrust into a big role here and he's taking advantage.
Yeah, he's looking quite comfortable up front for the Barrie Colts. Also key in the face-off dot, and they're going to need that here this afternoon as they take on the North Bay Battalion. But before the game, had a chance to catch up with Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz in our Mariposa School of Skating Coach's Corner. Joined by Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz, and last night was the start of the rivalry series with the North Bay Battalion. Last night, back and forth. You guys had the lead there late in the second period, but kind of got away in the third. How do you bounce back from last night's effort?
I think it's a pretty easy bounce back because we're actually very happy with our game last night. And we talked about it as a group this morning before we hopped on the bus. Results are what they are, but our process last night and the way we played the game and the way we, actually came through with stuff that we were working on in practice, the stuff we were going over in video, and to actually see it come to fruition on the ice, we were very happy with it. A couple bounces here and there, it's a different game. But we feel like if we bring that same effort, same intensity tonight, we'll be on the right side of it.
And last night we saw Cole Baudouin dropping the mitts in that second period, something we don't see too often from Cole, but it kind of sparked the troops a little bit there.
It definitely did. We actually just showed that clip again in the video session, and it got the guys going again this morning, so it's kind of like a double whammy for us, but again, you give him a ton of credit. He's a leader through and through. He knew our guys needed a spark, and that's exactly what he gave us, and I'd expect nothing less from our captain.
And the power play kind of having some issues there in the second period. North Bay taking several penalties. Is that an area of focus right now to try and get that power play going, to take advantage of those opportunities the opposition's giving you?
Yeah, you always want to take advantage of the power plays for sure, but it's a good PK with a good goaltender, and we still went 25% on him, which again, if you kind of go 25% throughout the season, that's a pretty good power play. So we're happy we got one last night. Let's get another one on the power play tonight. Let's clean up our penalty kill a little bit tonight and get back into our winning ways.
So it's a new look in the crease today. You got Arvin Jaswal taking the starts. Arvin, he's looked not too bad with his start so far this season. Are you pretty confident with what you're going to get here?
We're very confident. We're very confident, both of our guys. We thought, a back-to-back with the travel and the early start time today would be a little bit tough for Rebby. And at the same time, we feel I have all the confidence in the world that Jazzy could have gone last night for us as well. So he's been putting in the work. Our goalie coach, Dave Belitsky, has been working really hard with him. Arvin's ready, and we're all looking forward to watching him play today.
Excellent. So that was Barrie Colts head coach Dylan Smoskowitz with our Mariposa School of Skating Coach's Corner. And Dylan Smoskowitz talking a bit there about that moment in the hockey game in the second period where Cole Baudouin deciding to drop the mitts with North Bay Battalion captain Ethan Procession. And you got a sense the game kind of shifted a little bit there. You see your leader out on the ice standing up, and maybe we could see a carryover here this afternoon, especially when it is the rivalry weekend here in the OHL.
Yeah, you don't see that a lot from Cole, but he stepped up, obviously trying to get his team going there, and they responded with, I think, what was really their best hockey of the night. This is a team that's been inconsistent at best at times, and they certainly responded to that, and that's what you need to lift. You need those veterans to kind of provide the guidance, the leadership, and Baudouin willing to do what it takes to get the team going.
And we do have the live chat here on the channel, so you can always put your comments or questions down below about the Barrie Colts. And Josh already starting it off, saying you had a nice hat there, Gene. And of course, you're repping the Windsor Memorial Cup, so maybe we need to see more of those hats.
Yeah, I got a collection of them, Memorial Cup hats, and just through the years, but thought I'd bring this one out.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
It hides the lack of some hair underneath.
Hey, whatever works. So we are about 7 minutes away from puck drop here at Boart Longyear Memorial Gardens. And last night, what really stood out to me from this North Bay Battalion team, they're a younger squad. They just barely made the playoffs last year. And Ryan Houlihan really has this team heading in the right direction. We saw that line with Cam Warren, along with Ryder Cali and Parker Vaughn. And that line, just so much energy. And that has a lot of potential here going forward.
Yeah, you just have a feeling that, within a year or a bit, this line is going to be pretty potent to handle, and just a lot of talent young. I mean, Warren really impresses me. Just great vision out there, the ability to find his teammates, and a really nice pass there to set up the one goal by Kelly, and it really speaks to volumes. Look, this North Bay team had to take a step back last season, and it's always not an easy thing to do. Obviously, they traded Wakely, Van Stietzel, and O'Mani, but what's the difference? You bring in young guys like Vaughn, Moses, and, it creates opportunity. I think they're still going through a bit of a rebuilding process, but you really see the pieces come into place now, and what's going to be a pretty good hockey team as we move forward.
And then, of course, you touched on Shamar Moses, and there's Parker Vaughn, the former Barrie Colts. We saw Moses quite a bit last year playing against his former team. We saw Moses and Eliason both being sent off after they were going nose to nose. I know there's probably a lot of fans wondering, are we going to see a bit of a carryover from last night to this afternoon when these two teams are reacquainted?
It's not much time between games, right? You don't forget. I mean, these guys got long memories as it is, so not. And look, I mean, I think we're going to see a little bit of that, tussle back and forth. Former teammates, and there's two pretty big customers as well, so that'll be a big rumble. But I think the Colts right now, the focus is on snapping the skid and not letting it get any longer. And for North Bay as well, 1-4 on home ice. You want to turn that. We've talked about it, along with Barrie and their struggles on home ice. North Bay's had the same here, and I'm sure they want to get to play some good hockey in front of the hometown fans.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, that 4-game losing streak that was extended last night against the Battalion. The last road game, in Sound Wednesday night was a 6-0 defeat against the Attack. So this is a Colts team that's facing adversity early on in the regular season. They're going to have to find ways to get some of that depth scoring going. You can't always rely on players like Gardner, Bodwin, and Aitchison to get your goals. You need that depth scoring, and we're seeing Smoskowitz here juggle up the lines a little bit, trying to get something going here.
Yeah, trying to get something going. And again, it's, you need some young guys to step up, and obviously some veterans. Cody Stewart off to a real tough start again here got off to a tough start last year, and you just figure that there's more there. That if you can get a couple, kind of ignite the switch, things there. But again, Carlo, these are the guys that they need. Cilantro, got off to a nice start. Schneid as well, but they're going to need some guys to step up here and provide some offense and be that sporting cast. I remember talking about Stefanski back in the day, the Colts, and he used to always go through a list. If I get a goal from my top line, a goal from my second line, a goal from my power play, and then one from the bottom two lines, and then one from the defense, he goes, "You're all set."
What more do you need?
What more do you need? And, he used to go through that. It was always fun listening to them, but, the Colts are going to need their depth guys here to step up, especially when you're on a losing skid like this. You need someone to kind of, provide and be the difference maker.
Now, the only change we see up front in the roster here tonight is that the second line put down to the fourth, and last night's fourth line now playing on the second. So you've got Eamon Edgar playing on the center on that line with Nicholas Desiderio and Joe Salandra. So maybe a chance here for those young players to get a little more ice time and show that, you can count on them.
You got the back-to-back games, so you hope youth comes through there, right, with all the antidotes. These young guys, look, every game is a learning process, and they get better and better. I mean, that's what hockey's about at this age level, the development, getting that repetition night in and night out. And as well, too, you really learn a lot about the character of these guys. They've lost 4 in a row, coming in hungry here, facing the rival battalion. They need a big win. And, for those young guys, hey, you want more ice time? This is a good way to earn it. Step up, and your coach is going to take notice.
And the schedule doesn't get any easier here for the Barrie Colts. So next weekend, they're on the road Friday night in Sudbury. You can catch the radio broadcast here on the channel for that one. But then they're home to the Kitchener Rangers Saturday. And the following Wednesday, they visit the Brantford Bulldogs, who are the last team to remain unbeaten in regulation. So for the Colts, you want to get off this losing slide and start to string some points together here, because you've got some very tough competition on the horizon.
Yeah, that losing streak can really build. I mean, if they struggle here, then that's a tough thing to break against a Kitchener team that's pretty talented, and then, of course, Brantford. So, the opportunity is here this afternoon. I think, obviously, a tough loss last night, but they simply have to be better than they have been to start this season.
So we're just under 2 minutes away from the start of this one between the Colts and the North Bay Battalion. As we mentioned, no real line changing here for the Barrie Colts. The only change is in net. Ben Horevic on the bench. Arvin Jaswal gets the start. And for North Bay, it was a winning formula last night at the Sadlin Arena. You got the 4-3 win, so don't change the lineup here tonight. Ryan Houlihan keeping things the same. And this is going to be fascinating just to see how it all plays out. As like you mentioned, North Bay, great on the road, but have struggled here on home ice. Very similar to the Barrie Colts. So it's you want to figure out the Central Division going forward from here. And this is a great statement game. It's a big 4-point game, rather, when you got these two going head-to-head.
Yeah, I think, the start's important tonight. I mean, they got down 2-0 last night. We're able to battle back, but I think you want a good start here in the road, just a little bit of confidence. I asked Keyshawn H. and Carlo, it's kind of a confidence thing, and Keyshawn H. just doesn't think so. He's kind of winding, look, for a new team, got a lot of new faces still coming. But, again, I think you want a bit of that confidence is always nice, and if they get off a good start this afternoon and build on that, I think it's going a long ways.
So we are just moments away from puck drops here at the Boart Longyear Memorial Gardens in North Bay. We're going to take a break, and when we return, we will have a drop between the Colts and the Battalion. So we're just about ready to go for the first period of play here in North Bay between the Colts and the Battalion. And while we have a moment, let's take a look at our starting goaltenders.
Well, Mike McIver back in goal for the North Bay Battalion. Solid effort last night. The veteran, he's carried the load here in North Bay back in goal. The Colts, they make the switch in goal. Benarevich out. The veteran out last night. And Arvin Jaswell gets a start here for the Barrie Colts.
Now, our referees tonight, Mike Cairns and Jack Hennigan, and on the lines, Devin Marston and Evan Conrad. As we're just about ready to go here, they're taking down the inflatable tank, rolling up the carpets, and we can get this one underway. That's the one nice thing about the battalion is just how much they embrace the military aspect of the inflatable tank. Probably one of the best inflatables in the Ontario Hockey League.
Well, certainly right up there. I mean, and again, of course, you got Sarge, the mascot, who has always that frown on his face. I'm not sure about him, but
well, we haven't run across Sarge as of yet here in North Bay, but I'm sure he will be making an appearance at some point as the teams line up. Getting set to take the draw here is Cam Warren for the North Bay Battalion up against Jaden Newton of the Barrie Colts, and we are underway. Face-off won by the Battalion. There's a turnover early on, but they're going to call this offside. As having an issue there with the puck was Jonathan Kaparitis.
William Snide, and when we talked about Dylan Smoskowitz moving his lineup around and put Snide in the middle, now him and Newton have kind of switched back and forth between that center and wing role. Crombie now on that line. Lots of changes up front for the last. That started a couple of games ago as Dylan Smoskowitz looks for the right connection to get this team going.
The Barrie Colts trying to snap that 4-game losing streak as the Battalion will win the draw outside their blue line. Kaparitis sends that one ahead. Ryder Cali trying to find it. Loose puck. Cali takes the shot. Jaswell got the blocker on it. Puck's at the side of the net. Colts trying to dig it free. Passmore can't hold on to it. Schneid gets it along the boards, and the Colts will carry it out. Newton ahead for Crombie. Calvin Crombie carrying it in. That's stopped. Following up is Emerton. Emerton from the corner. He's going to take this down low for the Colts. Gives it up to Crombie. Back to the line. It's Schneid. Across. Aitchison takes the shot. It's blocked. That one going off Manzo. Broke his stick. Aitchison's going to send this one deep. Crombie down low for the Colts. Puts it in front. Oh, but Aitchison puts it wide of the net. Colts keeping it at the point. Passmore down to Aitchison. Keyshawn Aitchison getting away from Warren. Gives it up to Beaudoin. Cole Beaudoin comes back to the point. Sends that one across. Right now it's Parker Vaughn who doesn't have a stick for the Battalion. Puck goes behind the North Bay net. Colts still with it. Here's Asadorian, but he can't keep it in the zone. He was tied up by Kapagaritis. And the Colts have to carry it in again. Here's Cole Beaudoin now. He's got a lane to the net. Takes the shot. It rolled on him. McIver using that poke check. Colts have it at the point, and Aitchison fires it on goal. But McIver able to hold on. You're seeing a pretty quick start here for the Barrie Colts.
A good start is certain. It leads to a couple of opportunities. Keyshawn Aitchison taking that pass from Crombie behind the net. Again, Aitchison's ability to step into that slot area. He gets a great shot on McIver and a big stop there. And then, of course, Cole Beaudoin doing a good job of kind of racing on the right side and cutting to the net. Leads to another opportunity. Good start here for the Barrie Colts here this afternoon.
2 shots on goal already here for the Barrie Colts as they win the draw in the North Bay zone. Emerton at the point. Didn't get all of that. Puck's taken away by Procession. He can't get out of the zone. Turnover. Here's Gardner. His pass across, but Beaudoin couldn't get a stick on it. And Wright sends this one forward as the Battalion try and get it out of their zone. Moses will skate it back. And Wright nearly lost it in front of his own net. Sends it forward. Moses can't control that pass. At center ice, it's taken away by Asadorian. Here's Brad Gardner on the wing. Back to Asadorian. Asadorian, he's knocked down into the corner. Battalion trying to get that loose puck. It's Greer behind his own net. Beaudoin takes it away from him. Cole Beaudoin in the corner. Trying to keep it away from Greer. Kicks it to Gardner. Gardner to Beaudoin. Beaudoin has Asadorian in front. Trying to pass it, but he was tied up by Enright. Battalion trying to get it out of the zone. They will. Back at his own blue line, that's Evan Passmore. Aitchison dropping that one forward. Finds Gardner and his shot on goal. And McIver with the glove save. But this is something we didn't really see too much of from Barrie last night, getting that consistent pressure.
Well, the veterans really, Gardner, Beaudoin, and Asadorian. Asadorian last night, couple of assists had a real solid game, and this line stepping up again here early, and that's what you need. Your vets to kind of lead the way and lead some good opportunities. And again, the Colts get some sustained pressure in the North Bay zone, something we haven't seen a lot of from this hockey club of late.
Battalion are able to get this puck out to center ice, but doesn't go too far. Salandra will send it right back in. Takes a weird bounce along the glass. Battalion able to collect it. It's Pazzi. They'll send that one forward. Trying to force that one through was Kanapaski. In the neutral zone, Desiderio will send it back into the North Bay end. Kanapaski flips this one out to center ice. Procession, he'll collect it here. Or make that Cronin. He's going to take it around the net. He scored a nice wraparound goal last night. Now we've got a delayed penalty call. Looks like it's coming against the Barrie Colts. Puck's deep in the Barrie zone. Hanser's going to touch it. And we'll get the first call of the hockey game. It's going to be for a hold. So the Battalion are going to go on the power play.
And this North Bay power play an opportunity here early on. And a chance and a good start. I mean, Colts were all over North Bay here to start this contest. And with the Battalion, going to have a chance to kind of turn on the momentum here with some power play time.
So it's Teague Vader in the penalty box for holding. So power play for the North Bay Battalion. They win the draw to the left of Jaswal. Puck sent to the point, bouncing, kept in. Moses from the half boards. He'll take this down to the corner for North Bay. Back to the line, Greer. Greer sends it across. Warren settles that one down. Sends it to Callie. Callie gets it by Eliason. Puck's back at the point for the Battalion. Greer to Warren. Warren back to Greer. Kent Greer setting it up. Moses one-timer. That's blocked by Passmore, and the Colts defenseman able to get it out. 1:27 left in the power play here for North Bay as Greer forced back to pick it up. Kent Greer leaving it there for Moses. He's going to go for a skate. The Florida Panthers prospect ahead to Warren, but he loses it at the line, but the Colts can't get it out. Ryder Callie waiting for it on the near side. Emerton trying to get a stick on it. At the blue line, it's Greer. Across finds Warren. Procession. We'll peel around from the corner, trying to set up Callie in front. That doesn't connect, and the Colts relieve the pressure. Penalty to Vader is now down to 52 seconds as McIver will wait behind his own net for his defense to pick it up. Both teams making line changes. We're just past the 4-minute mark of the hockey game. Still no score as the Battalion are on the power play. Wellenreiter through the neutral zone. He'll keep with it. Down low, peels back. At the blue line, Harper quickly across to Amadovsky. Amadovsky to Harper. Harper to Wellenreiter. Stopped there by Jaswal on the one-timer. Harper gets it again at the point. Over to Vaughn. Vaughn takes the shot, blocked in front. Couldn't get a stick on it there. It was Amadovsky. Colts trying to get it out. Kept in by Wellenreiter. Wellenreiter dropping it to Pazzi, and that one's deflected. Jaswal may have got a piece of it, but the Colts will get it out. And that'll just about do it here for the North Bay Battalion power play. Amadovsky skates it in, back to 5-on-5. Aitchison takes down Amadovsky. Crombie with it now. He'll flip this one out to center ice. Picking it up, Kapagaritis. Let's send this one across. Manzo. His pass is deflected. Chasing after it here is Vaughn. Parker Vaughn in a battle along the boards. Crombie's there trying to dig it free. Sends this one back to Aitchison. Colts trying to regroup here. There's the pass from Black, deflected, rolls towards the net. McIver decides to guide it to the corner. Nearly taken away. Now it's Crombie after it behind the North Bay net. Carrying it in. Cronin through the neutral zone. That's going to go deep into the Barrie zone. Emerton's going to be the first one on it. Trying to shield that puck. Black sends it to the corner. Picked up by Aitchison. Almost at the 6-minute mark of this first period. Right now, North Bay leading on the shot clock 5-4. Italians send it deep. Jaswal behind the net. Gives that up to Aitchison. Emerton in the corner goes back to Aitchison. Aitchison will take his time. Edgar comes back to pick it up for the Colts. He's got some room to work with. Goes for a skate, reaches center, still with it. Edgar now into the attacking zone, trying to get by Harper. Hits the brakes, lost an edge. Desiderio there trying to help him out. Desiderio along the boards, kicked by Edgar, trying to send it back to the line. Amadovsky was there for the Battalion. North Bay, they'll get this one out. Moses ahead, knocked down by Hanser. Procession would have had a breakaway. And they're going to call that a gloved ahead pass with 13:32 left to go in the first period.
Italian stealing a bit of the momentum, but I thought the Colts did a good job on the penalty kill. They were pressuring the puck holder and really not giving them a lot of time and space in order to be able to keep the puck in the Barrie zone in the latter stages of that power play. But most importantly for Barrie, they killed that penalty off and try to get back here with that solid start they had in the first couple of minutes.
Well, even with the block shots, Evan Passmore blocking a couple. We're seeing him get in the lanes and really helping out Arvin Jaswal to even be able to see those shots from the point.
Yeah, the little things. I mean, they add up during a game, and whether that's getting a stick in the lane, blocking shots, and Jaswal having to be sharp here. And again for Barrie, get off to a good start. All right, you kill the penalty. Try to use that and build momentum here as you move on to this hockey game.
So both teams will make changes. The faceoff's going to come outside the Barrie Colts blue line. As we're still looking for our first goal of the hockey game. Cole Baudouin, he'll get ready here to take the faceoff for the Barrie Colts. He'll take this draw up against Ethan Procession. These two had a tilt last night in Barrie, which kind of sparked the Barrie Colts late in the second period. Faceoff won by Baudouin. Aitchison trying to pass that one up the middle. It's taken away by Procession. He'll skate this one in for North Bay. Trying to get around Aitchison, and he fires that one wide. Enright keeps it in at the point. Down low, Amidovsky. He takes the hit. Baudouin's going to send it around to the far side. Greer keeps it in. Back behind the Colts net it goes. Baudouin there for Barrie. Ahead for Gardner. Gardner sends it over to Aitchison. Aitchison knocked it down, but Asadorian didn't see it behind him. Now the battalion with it. Turnover there for Baudouin. Baudouin, the shot misses that far side. Kayshawn Aitchison at the blue line. He'll send this back behind the North Bay net. Passmore after it. Sends it back for Gardner. He's taken into the boards by Greer. Loose puck, Procession. He'll get a stick on it. Sends that down the ice, and it's going to be an icing call against North Bay. But what an opportunity for the Colts when Baudouin creates that turnover right at the blue line.
Turnover. You know why that's happening? It's because the Colts are skating today. They'll come out, they're moving, they're creating chances for themselves. They're putting pressure on the sports-based teams. The battalion, they get the puck, they have to act quick, they have to think quick. And a nice turnover opportunity there. Bortles fires it wide, but good movement up front, creating opportunities for this Barrie offense.
Yeah, Cole Baudouin, not the player you want to be giving it up to right up the middle. 3 goals so far this season. As we'll get the faceoff now to the left of Mike McIver. Edgar taking the draw here for the Colts. We'll win this one back. Vader at the point. Vader's shot goes off Moses. Battalion get it to the line and out. Picking it up at center ice, it's Justin Hanser. Here's Eamon Edgar. Up to Hanser, who is kind of handcuffed. Takes the shot while falling. Kicked aside by McIver. Laird, he'll skate it the other way for North Bay. Enters the attacking zone. His pass deflected. Good work there by Salandra. Colts trying to get it out. Puck along the boards inside the Colts blue line. Desiderio will send it back. Hanser will send it all the way around to Teague Vader. Edgar puts that one off the boards. Puck's at center. Minapaski sends that one across. Battalion with it. Sending it into the zone was Wellenrider. Vader will pick it up here for the Colts. Sends it ahead. Picked up by Edgar. Here's Desiderio. Desiderio with the shot. That's going to go wide. Salandra on the near side. Stopped by McIver. Puck's in the corner. Salandra, he's taken down. Play continues. Harper will send that one ahead. Wellenrider gets it out. That's center ice. Gabriel Eliasson. He'll skate it back into his own zone. Colts regroup. Schneid trying to go through the defense. That's taken away from him. Battalion sent it to center. Picking it up here. That's Warren. Cam Warren, the rookie, off to a great start in his OHL career. He stopped at the line. Stays with it, however. Gets it ahead to Vaughn. Sending that back. Callie to Vaughn, and he fans on the one-timer, and the Colts will take it back the other way. 2-on-1 developing. Calvin Crombie's got Schneid going to the net. Takes the shot, stop, rebound, and Schneid couldn't get a stick on it. Eliasson, he'll fire that. That's blocked by Vaughn. Puck's back at the point. Eliasson, his shot's blocked. Ryder Callie comes up with it, and he'll get it out to center ice. Callie weaving his way through the neutral zone, sends that one ahead. There's the shot. Jaswal the save, trying to pounce on it. Puck's still loose. It's sitting there. Colts are able to recover. Schneid sends it to the corner. Newton will collect it now for Barrie. Newton just sent that one up the middle. It's going to escape the zone. Battalion back with it. Manzo inside his own blue line, passing that one ahead. That doesn't connect. Eliasson will send it across. Quickly ahead. Stewart can't get a stick on it. Puck's going to go deep in the North Bay zone, however. Carter Lowe behind the North Bay net. He's knocked down. That's going to be a penalty against the Battalion. As they touch it up, we'll get the call, and it's going to be for a high stick. So heading to the box will be Aaron Enright, and that's going to be the first power play for the Colts.
Yeah, pretty good action here. These two teams playing last night, but getting right back at it here, end-to-end action. It's already the power play opportunity. The Colts going to have one of their own here as Carter Lowe's knocked down the side of the net. Here for Barrie. You could tell the Colts had a little bit of desperation here in the first period. I think a much better start than last night. They're moving their feet. That's the big difference I noticed from last night.
And this Barrie Colts power play brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can find them at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. As the power play gets underway, the Colts win the faceoff. Aitchison at the point. He'll send this one back, kept in by Emerton. Down low, after it is low, he turns it over to Amadovsky. He's going to skate around his own net. Amadovsky's going to send this down the length of the ice. The power play right now for the Barrie Colts, 5th best in the OHL at 20%, but there's a turnover to possession deep in the Barrie zone. He can't get the shot as Emerton was blocking his lane. Loose puck picked up by Carter Lowe. He's going to have it at his own blue line, drops it back to Baudouin. Baudouin enters the zone, holds up. He'll send this one deep. Aitchison down low towards the nets. That's blocked. Greer comes up with it for North Bay. Aitchison back to Baudouin. Across to Emerton. Emerton to Aitchison. One-timer. Didn't get all of that, as that'll hit the side of the net. Back behind the net it goes. Greer trying to get possession of it. He will, and sends this one down the length of the ice.
What a great heads-up play by Cole Emerton to try to get that puck down low to the face-off dot to Aitchison, who almost connects on the one-timer.
And we've seen that oh so often, that one-timer from Kayshawn Aitchison on the power play, which is now down to 52 seconds. Colts will carry it in. Here's Baudouin. Around the boards it goes. Aitchison trying to catch up to it, but that's going to sail all the way back to the Barrie zone. 9 minutes remaining in the first period. The Colts on the man advantage. Still 36 seconds to work with. Emerton will give that one up. Calvin Crombie comes out of his own zone. Reaches center with some speed. Carrying this one in. He's bumped into the boards. Crombie still trying to go after it. He'll send it around. Far side, Desiderio. Back to Crombie, who's in the corner, trying to pass it in front. Greer got to him. And now the Battalion will once again clear the zone. The North Bay penalty kill operating at 75% so far this season, getting the job done. As Enright about to come out of the penalty box. Puck deep in the North Bay zone. In front, Schneid couldn't get that one out of the air. Enright back on the ice as Vader keeps it down low. Schneid is there. He's tied up by Manzo. Trying to dig it free is Debratsev for the Battalion. Taken away by Vader at the point. Eliasson with a shot. And McIver makes the glove save as the Colts continue to throw shots on net. That's now 8 in this hockey game.
Nice North Bay penalty kill, which has struggled here early on. And up their own penalty kill here. The Colts is going to continue what you're doing. They're getting opportunities. They're moving their feet. Again, the question is, can we see this through a 60-minute hockey game, which Barrie just hasn't been able to put together this season?
Yeah,
the closest one, that was that game against Guelph.
Yeah, that was the home opener. We saw that consistency. But right now, the Colts out shooting the Battalion, but still no score to report as the Colts take it down low. It's behind the net. Harper ties up his man. Salandra trying to knock it free. 7:50 left to go in the first period. Battalion will move it up. Pazzi skates this one ahead, reaches center ice. That's going to roll to the net. And Jaswal, he'll just simply cover this one up, not wanting to take any chances. And now we've got Pazzi and Passmore mixing up a little bit. Those two are going to be separated.
And we saw that a bit of pushing and shoving last night. Expected to carry through with this turnaround game right back between these two Central Division rivals. I think for Dylan Smoss, but the first period obviously still 7:42 remaining, but you have to like what you've seen from your hockey club. I mean, you want them to push back after that loss on home ice last night, and it's pretty solid start to this contest for Barrie Colts. So a much different team that seems to be moving out there.
And a lot of good movement, too, on the power play for the first half for the Barrie Colts. Just not able to capitalize. as they're going to send this one down ice, and that's going to be an icing call against Barrie, so we'll try this face-off all over again.
Mosswood's going to his veterans. We've seen a lot of this Bowman, Gardner line, and Macedonian. That's what you need. You need your veterans to kind of lead the way and click through it. Well, it's a big game for Barrie. I mean, yeah, it's early, but like I said, he's got a 4-game skid. You want to put an end to it right away and get back on track.
Battalion get the puck behind the Colts net. That's Amidovsky. He's going to skate this one back to the blue line. His pass off the skate of Asadorian, and that's going to go back into the North Bay zone. And right, can't get that one in. Kept in by Asadorian. Now it's sent out. Procession chasing after it. He's got Aitchison on him. Fans here want a penalty. Procession takes the shot. Jaswell the save. Rebound, and that's fired over the net by Moses. Puck goes to the corner. Picking it up is Amidovsky. Back behind the net it goes. Aitchison in a battle now with Amidovsky. Those two tangled up in the corner. Fans getting restless here at the Memorial Gardens. Amidovsky trying to knock it free. It's picked away there by Evan Passmore. Ahead to Gardner. Gardner through the neutral zone. Flips this one into the North Bay zone. McIver, who's very comfortable coming out of the net, slows it down. But now Asadorian, he had his stick held there as the Battalion get it to the line. Not out. Schneid shot stopped by McIver. Asadorian after the loose puck. Didn't get all of that. It's taken away by Vaughn. He's going to go for a skate. Parker Vaughn gives it up to Callie, but that's going to be offside as Parker Vaughn just ahead of the play. But the Boo Birds in full session here at Memorial Gardens.
Keyshawn Aitchison, always a popular player wherever he goes, seems to draw a lot of attention. And that time, battling precision going up the ice. Battalion fans looking for a penalty as the big guy was draped all over precision, but precision, another guy doesn't mind, playing that big role. We saw him and Bowden drop the mitts last night. True leader for this Battalion hockey club.
It's quite the battle when these two teams go head-to-head as Warren's going to send it back into the Barrie zone. After it is Teague Vader. He's going to join us in the intermission coming up. As we've got 6 minutes left in the first period. I almost looked offside as the Colts enter the zone. Down low, that's Justin Hanser. He's knocked over. Puck's in the corner. Hanser trying to play it from his knees. Back to Crombie. Takes the shot. And McIver, despite traffic in front, makes the glove save. And we're seeing a little more of that from Justin Hanser, where he's getting involved with the offense and right down low in front of the net.
Again, you need big bodies in front. Hands are going, not afraid to go down to the net, trying to get something started. And sometimes, I go over and over about this, Mike, but sometimes it's just a simple play. Put the puck in the net, get bodies to the front of the net, and whether you get a deflection or a rebound, that type of thing. It can be that simple play. And a nice job there by Barrie. Last night with McIver, got to get bodies to the net. When a goalie's stopping there, you can stop everything against goalies. So you got to make them fight to see the puck and make them make sure that they hang on to it.
Well, Mike McIver might be one of the more underrated goaltenders in the Ontario Hockey League. Maybe it's because he's playing with the North Bay Battalion, but if he can see it, he's going to stop it. You can compare him to a goaltender like Carter George with the own sound attack with just his skill set.
Certainly, these guys, they're the type of guys that can steal a hockey game, come up with big saves when you need it. Around McIver trying to make it a sweep of the Barrie Colts on this rivalry weekend.
So we'll get the face-off now to the left of Mike McIver. Both teams making changes. William Schneid will take the draw here for the Barrie Colts. He's got Crombie and Newton on his wings. Well, Laird will take their draw here for North Bay. Battalion win the face-off. That's sent out to center ice. Newton trying to take it away from Wellenreiter. Battle in front of the Battalion bench. Comes back to Eliason at his own blue line. Eliason up to Emerton. Emerton sends it across. Here's Newton. He'll send it in. Doesn't go too far. Manzo comes up with it for the troops. Capagridis. His pass, not able to connect there with Laird, and it's going to be an icing call now against North Bay. Play it is Paskey up to Pazzi. Chips that one ahead. Cronin. That's center. That pass is deflected. Second time, we'll send it deep. Pazzi's going to chase after it, but that's going to be another icing call here against North Bay, and not going to be able to make a line change here.
4:40 remaining in this first period, and lots of jawing out there. I'm surprised In back-to-back games. Ozzy well familiar with this Colts team, and that big line for Barrie of Bodwin, Gardner, and Asadorian right back out there.
Face-off won by the Battalion. Karpaski behind the net, turns it over to Bodwin. Bodwin settles it down. Aitchison with a shot, blocked in front. Karpaski was in the way. Bodwin trips up Pazzi, and that's going to be a penalty now against the Barrie Colts. As Bodwin's going to go for the trip, and with Pazzi's always moving those feet. And Bodwin just, his stick getting in between the legs and takes the penalty.
Young Bowden heavy on the forecheck, and watch puck's going to go back to Aitchison's shot, and Bowden's going to go into the corner and just kind of looking to do that sweep check on Pazzi, and stick gets into the skates. Pazzi goes down, and North Bay will have their second power play this first period.
Face off to left of Jaswal, won by the Colts. Asadorian takes it back behind the net. He's taken down by Procession. Battalion have it back to the line, but Greer can't keep it in. Kent Greer will come back to regroup for the Battalion from his own blue line. Passes this one ahead to Warren. Cam Warren enters the zone, hits the brakes. Still with it, trying to send it back. Moses can't hold on to it, and Asadorian will get it out for the Colts. Alex Asadorian dumps this one in, back behind the North Bay net. Taking time off this North Bay power play as Asadorian's taken into the boards by Procession. And now a penalty being called against the North Bay captain for roughing. So there goes the power play for North Bay.
Protesting that call, but officials felt just a little bit too aggressive there, and that'll do it for the North Bay power play.
So it's going to be a 4-on-4 situation from minute 27, and then the Barrie Colts will get an abbreviated power play. But good forecheck there, Asadorian getting the puck deep, and now resulting in this penalty.
The veteran overager came over in that trade for the Niagara Ice Dogs, and he's really stepped it up the last couple of games. A couple of big assists last night, big effort. Pretty strong first period here tonight.
Well, Asadorian now fourth in team scoring, a goal, 8 assists, 9 points. As the puck ends up back in the Barrie zone, Colts will recover. Gardner ahead for Aitchison. Colts will get this one through the neutral zone. Aitchison sends this one deep. And right, first one on it for the Battalion. Salandra's there as well. Pazzi comes up with it now for the troops. He'll pass this one across. Here's Amidovsky, speed through the neutral zone, carries it in, poked away there by Hanser. Puck ends up behind the Colts net. Salandra dropping this one back, picked up there by Hanser. 44 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Kayshawn Aitchison now with it. This one in for the Colts. Aitchison along the boards, sends it back behind the net. Kapagaritis will collect it now for the Battalion, and he'll skate this one up. He's got plenty of room, reaches center ice. Kapagaritis still with it, going end to end. Now lost it as Justin Hanser able to get a stick in there, and the Colts recover. Edgar dropping it back to Teague Vader. 15 seconds, and then the Colts will be on the power play. Here's Schneid through the neutral zone. Schneid carrying it in for Barrie. Down low, behind the North Bay net. He's tied up. Kapagaritis trying to dig this one free. Schneid. He's tied up now by Manzo. Puck sent out in front, so it's a Barrie Colts power play brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can check out frontlinehockeyapparel.com. As this power play, just another 20 seconds. Second power play of the night for the Barrie Colts. Edgar ahead for Bodwin. Cole Bodwin has it in the corner. Back to the line, Aitchison. 10 seconds left in the power play. Aitchison at the point. Goes to Bodwin. Bodwin in the high slot. Shot stop. Rebound. Crombie digging for it, but the puck goes to the corner. And the Battalion will get it out, as that'll do it for the power play. 1:46 remaining here in the first period. Still no score. Kayshawn Aitchison. He's going to come out from behind the net. Reaches the blue line. Now it's center. He'll dump this one in. Into the near corner it goes. And Wright picks it up for the Battalion. Back behind the net. Crombie takes it away from him. Sends it back to the line, but no one. Battalion. He stopped inside the Colts blue line. Gets it back. Cronin again. Down to the corner. We're down the final minute of this first period. Cronin down low for the Battalion. Facing pressure there from Eliasson, and Harper can't keep it in at the point. Kanapaski That's center. He's going to send this one deep. Jaswal out of his net to play it. 41 seconds remaining in the period. Cole Emberton ahead for Crombie. Crombie sends this one across. Picking it up there is Bodie Stewart. Stewart getting a lane to the net, trying to carry it. He's knocked down. Couldn't get the shot to go. And now the Battalion will take it back the other way. That's center. That's Warren. Warren enters the zone. Vaughn picks up the loose puck. Ends up in the corner. Vaughn trying that tight angle. Jaswal able to make the save. 16 seconds now. Puck's in the corner. Battalion after it. Gardner sends it back. Ends up off a leg. Aitchison trying to get it away from Callie. Ryder Callie back to the blue line and right with a shot deflected. Jaswal gets the pad out. Newton will get it out of the zone, and that will do it for the first period of play. As these two teams battle it out in the opening 20 minutes, but no score to report. But the shots favoring the Barrie Colts 14-11. So a much better start to this hockey game than what we saw last night back in Barrie.
Well, much better for the Barrie. A lot more jump we've seen in this first period, and Colt's doing a good job of getting some bodies to the front of the net as well. The defensemen, we've seen that. Justin Hanser pitching in, Teague Vader. We've seen a lot more active on that back end as they look to get some offense going.
And we talked about in the pregame how for a player like Bodie Stewart wanting to try and get things back on track, nice play there at the end. Something I don't think we've really seen from Stewart this season, getting that puck and driving to the net. He didn't get the shot, but still something that we haven't seen, and that's maybe a good sign here.
Yeah, able to muscle his way to, past the defender and get to the front of the net. Well, that's what you want to see. Those types of opportunities. Gordon's net looks sometimes going to pay a price, and Bodie Stewart does some good work there.
So the Barrie Colts and the North Bay Battalion, they are tied at zeros here on the board. And before the game, I had a chance to catch up with Teague Vader, the rookie defenseman for the Barrie Colts, who we've been seeing him coming in and out of the lineup, but we're starting to see Dylan Smoskowitz having a little more confidence in his game. So this is my conversation that I had with Teague Vader pregame from the Barrie Colts. Joined by Barrie Colts defenseman Teague Vader. And Teague, this is your first full season with the Barrie Colts. You got a bit of a sample last year with the one game, but how motivated are you this year with this group?
Yeah, very motivated. We got a young group, a bit of a younger decor, so just looking to, come in with a lot of confidence and play like I've been here before, and we should be just fine.
And you're playing with some veterans like Kayshawn Aitchison, Evan Passmore, some big defensemen. Are you learning a lot from these guys with what they bring?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, get to practice with them like every day, so just taking as many tips from them. I know the big guys help me physically in net battles in front of the net and whatnot, so it's nice to take some aspects of their game.
And this is the OHL's first ever rivalry week. You guys are right now in the middle of the home and home at the North Bay Battalion. Does it excite you at all when you do play these rivalry games? And do you feel as though with this whole rivalry week idea with the Ontario Hockey League that kind of amplifies these games here in mid-October?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's my first time being a part of one of these weekends, and it's been a great time so far. I know we didn't get the result we wanted last night, but we're looking to take one back today.
And the last two seasons, you're spending time with the Listowel Cyclones. You had some success with that one championship run. Talk a bit about your experience there in the GOJHL and what it meant to play for a team like Listowel.
It was great. I mean, obviously I won my first year when I was 16, which is kind of all you can ask for as a young kid. And I think even then we had a lot of older guys, so kind of learning what it was like to play junior hockey before I came to the OHL. It was just helped me transition even easier.
And Listowel, being a smaller community, was it a passionate fan base down there? Like, what was it like playing in front of those fans down in Listowel?
Yeah, very passionate. I was one of 6 local kids that were from Listowel, so that also helped bring a lot of fans to the games. So it was kind of nice playing in front of your hometown and having your friends and family cheer you on every day.
And you mentioned you were 16 when you won that championship. That must have been big for that community. Is the Cyclones, they're a staple in that part of Ontario. And was that a team that you grew up watching quite a bit?
Yeah, it was. I usually used to go to all the Friday night games after school, so it was pretty cool to eventually end up there and start my junior hockey career there.
And now being in the Ontario Hockey League, your family must be pretty thrilled seeing you being able to play here in the OHL, playing with the Barrie Colts. Talk a bit about your family and what they mean to you as you continue your hockey career.
Yeah, they mean everything. I wouldn't be here without them. You know, driving me to the rink when I'm younger, paying for all the hockey and all the equipment, and just committing to the big commitment hockey is really as a young kid. So I couldn't be thankful enough of them and their journey to help me get here.
And what's your impression so far playing in Barrie? Does it compare at all to Listowel, or is there some differences?
I'd say it's pretty similar. You know, lots of they're both kind of hard, physical brands of hockey, and preach more on the defensive side of the game and how defense creates offense. So I think it's pretty similar, but obviously there are other differences in there too.
Well, Teague, best of luck the rest of the way, and have a great game here today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So that was Teague Vader, the defenseman for the Barrie Colts, and Vader playing in his first full season with the Barrie Colts. Last year played just one game for Barrie, didn't get much ice time out of that one, but man, oh man, Dylan Smoskowitz having quite a bit of confidence in his young defensemen and really getting them into the mix, and Vader showing a bit of what he's capable of.
Yeah, him and Cole Emerton. I mean, they got some major minutes. I mean, they're going in. Both these young defensemen are really big parts of their future. But the future is right now as they've got a ton of ice time. And look, it's a learning process. And you see with Emerton that confidence in both of them that it's strong handling the puck handlers, guys that can get that transition game going. And look, every game you get a little bit better, a little bit stronger, a little bit more confidence. And you got to play them. You got to play them, and that's what Dylan Smoskowitz has done. And you see Teague Vader game in and game out, just getting stronger and stronger.
And it was kind of fun having that conversation with Vader, and just the smile that went on his face talking about the Listowel Cyclones and when he had that run a couple of seasons ago. And he is from that area, as he mentioned in that interview, and it's just great to see how these players develop. You get to play at the junior B level, and you take your time, and eventually you're going to make it to the Ontario Hockey League. And Vader, just another example of that hard work playing with the Listowel Cyclones, and now getting a chance here on the bigger stage.
Yeah, there's no place like home, right? Like
yeah,
saying, and I think for these guys, they get the chance to play at home in front of friends, family, and that thing, and they take another step. But for him here, takes a big step into the Ontario Hockey League this year, and all of a sudden he's playing a regular role out there. He's playing every game pretty much, and you got to be happy that Ethan Armstrong out today, and that gets a chance like Vader an opportunity to step in and play some major minutes.
So for Teague Vader so far this season, 3 points in 9 games of work. So he is getting the ice time. He's contributing with the offense, with the assists. Still waiting for that first career OHL goal, but with the way we're seeing him starting to take a few more shots, I think that goal's coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and you see the confidence, right? Building each game. I mean, you start to see him a little bit more confident, carrying the puck, doing a little bit more things, waiting that extra second to make that decision on what to do. And that all comes with experience and just kind of the feeling, get that comfort level up, right? Your first few games, obviously, there's always jitters and, what you got to do. You don't want to make mistakes. And sometimes you're a little bit too careful. And, we saw that with Ethan Armstrong.
They're up 3-1 on the Erie Otters. So the Steelheads, they're up 3-1 on the Erie Otters. So the Steelheads getting back on track here. And then the Kitchener Rangers had a tough outing at home against the London Knights the other day. Right now, up 1-0 on the road against London. So a big bounce back game here needed for the Kitchener Rangers after, I think it was a 6-1 final against the London Knights at home.
Yeah, you talk about rivalries.
6-1 final against the London Knights at home.
Yeah, you talk about rivalries, right? Kitchener, London. I mean, never mind, just
we haven't even talked about that rivalry.
Talked about that rivalry. You talk about rivalry weekend, those two getting together, obviously. But, London and Kitchener, I mean, just great rivals there. And, Kitchener, look at them. I mean, that's a good hockey club. And, of course, London, they got off to a couple of losses and everybody's like, oh, what's going on? And sure enough.
Yeah, they're back to normal.
They're back to normal. And, a step back for them is like a step into the middle of the conference. Look, I mean, for the Kitchener Rangers especially, there's a lot of expectations. I mean, this is a team that's looking to host a Memorial Cup with a good opportunity to do that. They're building and building. I think they surprised a lot of people last year with how good they are. They kind of really sped up that process, which is always nice. But, again, another strong team this year. And look, I mean, that's the beauty of hockey, right? You kind of, if I can say it, poop the bed in one game and where maybe you don't play your best. And you're able to kind of make up for it. And talking to the Barrie Colts last night after that game, they know, look, the chance here is get right back at North Bay tomorrow afternoon. There's an opportunity. It's there for us. We got to take advantage. And through the first 20 minutes,
the rivalry off the ice, the information from the OHL, Jeff Merrick, he's the one that posted that tweet saying that we're heading in that direction. We'll have a June draft and it'll be held in Kingston. But it's been 25, 26 years since we last saw the draft in person. I know we talked about it in game notes last night on Rogers TV, but it's still, this is, I feel it's a step that's even good for the players up and coming, where you can have everybody together, you can celebrate the game of hockey, and just having everyone coming together. I think this is a great opportunity.
yeah, it's a special day. And look, I mean, I understand they went online there, but it's not the same thing, right? You have players that come in, but that ability to kind of slip on that jersey and that live event, it's always special for the players. It's a big day, where all their hard work in minor hockey's paid off. And again, I go back to that. It's a fun event, and one of the things that fun things that's reported to watch is just the draft tables and the conversations going on. And you get scouts that one scout likes one player, another scout likes another player. Who do we take here? Who do we take there? And I always go back to the Brian Little story, and the Colts was doing the draft online at this time. But again, it's one of those things where they didn't have a second round pick. And they made a first round pick, and the question is they wanted Brian Little, no doubt. But he hurt his shoulder in the second half. He missed a lot of time, and the hope by Barrie was that out of sight, out of mind. And the fun thing was that Mike McCann told me that when it came to the Colts pick and Brian Little was still there, and they the whole draft room erupted. And it's just fun to hear stories like that. And it's also fun to see, I was talking to Stan Butler a couple of years later in the Barrie dressing room, and he's going, "Oh man," he goes, "how do we miss him?" He goes, "How did everybody miss him?" And but sometimes injuries, and the Colts had a scout out in that area watching him pretty much well through. And again, it's just one of those things. And you look at Warren here in North Bay, just outstanding young player. And that's the fun part on draft day. You get to see a lot of the young talent. You find out what these scouts are talking about. And then they have the camps right after that, right? In the spring there, that you get to see these guys. But it's always a special day, and I think it's even more special live. And if that's the case, it'll be great to see the league go back to a live draft.
And the other thing too that I think is going to be a big boost for the OHL is the fact you're taking that draft out of the second round of the playoffs. I've always been confused by it, because you've got the momentum of the postseason, then suddenly you need to shift focus if you're a team still in the playoffs to your draft and how you're going to select your team and build your team. So if you take the draft out of the postseason, put it into June, that gives the teams all the more to focus specifically on the draft at the time.
Yeah, look, I mean, your GMs and head coaches, they want to be part of that, obviously. And, it's tough. I mean, if you're in the playoffs, in the middle of a playoff run, and, that's busy in itself. These games get every other day. And again, so I think moving it to June's the right decision. It'll give time for these teams to prepare.
So it's about 3 minutes away from the start of the second period. We want to thank those who are tuning in so far. And we're just going to take a break. And when we return, we'll be getting ready for the second period, as it's right now no score between the Barrie Colts and the North Bay Battalion from the Boart Longyear Memorial Gardens. So we're just about ready to go for the second period of play between the Barrie Colts and the North Bay Battalion. No score after the first period, which, Gene, comparing this first period to what we saw last night, much improved for the Barrie Colts, getting more pucks to the net and also having that more consistent zone time.
Yeah, I think, the opening 20 last night, both teams were sloppy, but again, a much better start. I mean, they're much more energy up front. The Colts forecheck, it led to some turnovers, some opportunities. Yeah, they didn't get on the scoreboard, but they had chances and they were moving their feet. And that was the difference.
So the Barrie Colts out shooting the North Bay Battalion 14-11 in that opening frame. Both teams had 2 power plays each, mind you. They were the second power plays for both teams were short because of the 4-on-4 situation, but no power play goals for either side. And for the Barrie Colts, the penalty kill right now 20th in the OHL. That's an area that I'm sure they want to see improved, and it's got to be encouraging in that opening 20 minutes. They were able to kill off both of those penalty kills.
Yeah, I think, you want to see your special teams come through. I mean, Barrie's power play has been good. Their penalty kill has struggled at times, but 2 big penalty kills, especially on the road. I mean, when you got that momentum going and then you get a penalty like that, can really kind of, throw you off the tracks. But the PK come up big a couple of times and, they hold the fort.
So it's 5-on-5 as we start the second period of play. Face-off won by the Battalion. Newton, though, putting on pressure, delayed offside against the Colts. North Bay will send it right back into the Barrie zone. Gabriel Eliason will collect it here for the Colts. Sending it ahead, taking it there is Cam Warren. Puts it back behind the Colts net. Ryder Callie in the corner, sending it back to the blue line. Kempagritis, near side Manzo. Manzo puts it wide in the net. A couple of troops there trying to get a stick on it. Colts recover. Far side, that's Schneid. Schneid sets up Jaden Newton, who will skate through center, puts it on net as McIver gets a glove on it. He's going to hold on for the whistle.
Well, not a bad decision by Newton. Just throw that one on net, get the face off in the zone, and McIver, of course, not going to take any chances there. And sometimes those little plays, right? It allows you to get a fresh line out there and regroup and get the face off in the zone. And that's what you want. You want time in their zone, creates opportunities. You win a draw here, get possession. It can lead to a change.
Back at the blue line, gives it up to Enright. His shot, side of the net. Procession couldn't find it. He had a wide open cage, but Gardner knocked that one away. Colts get it out to center ice. Asadorian chasing after the bouncing puck. Enright comes up with it. He'll send this one forward. Amidovsky had that go off his skate. Moses at center. We'll carry this one in. Passing that up to Greer. Greer, his shot. That went off Hanser. Hanser will take the hit from Procession. Harper keeps it at the point. There's a shot over the net. That was Amidovsky who fired it in the slot. Battalion still with it. Back to the blue line to Harper. Harper up to Pazzi. Pazzi coming off the boards. That's taken off his stick. And Cole Baudouin will reach center ice. Baudouin skating this one in for the Colts. Has it in the corner. Looks back to the point. Continues to battle there with Harper. Now it's Pazzi. Puts it off the side of his own net. Cronin can't get that one out. Taken away by Vader. Vader sets up Desiderio. His shot on goal. McIver the save. Rebound. Edgar at the side of the net. He's tied up behind the North Bay net. Harper got a stick on it. Edgar trying to send it back to the point, but that's blocked by Pazzi. Battalion out to center ice. Cronin, look out as Vader nearly made contact in the neutral zone. Hanser rides his man into the boards. Desiderio gives that up to Vader. Cronin takes Vader into the boards. Puck comes along. Colts get it out. Salandra. He's stood up. High hit there. Colts move it ahead. Here's Desiderio. That's knocked off his stick. Puck's in the neutral zone. Hanser will dump this one in. McIver back behind his own net to play it. Puts that to the corner. Then Desiderio skates into McIver. Shot from the point. And McIver able to react in time. Makes the glove save. I don't even know if he realized he was able to catch that one.
Good recovery there by McIver. Salancha still feeling it. I think he got a couple of gloves in the face there coming up to that center ice area and kind of bent over on that very bench, and you hope he's all right.
He's being attended to right now, so we'll keep an eye on that situation as the faceoff will come to the left of McIver. Faceoff won by the Battalion. They send it back behind their own net. Manzo with possession sends that one ahead to Wellenreiter. Wellenreiter gets it out. Bodie Stewart collecting it now for the changes. Emerton being chased there from behind the net. Crombie losing it there. Back Vader. towards the net. Blocked there by Manzo. Now the Battalion get it out. Breakaway chance for Debratsev, but that got away from him. Vader, first one on it for the Colts behind the Barrie net. And get it out to center ice. Here's Vader. We'll give that one up to Hanser. Hanser facing some pressure there. Gets this one into the North Bay zone. Back to the blue line, but Aitchison was coming off the bench, couldn't get there in time. Puck will come back into the Colts zone. Barrie's making a line change, and that puck's going to bounce into the Colts bench and out of play. These two teams continue to go back and forth, and like you said, it's a bit of a chess match right now.
Early in the season, too. Obviously, I mean, these two teams seeing each other for the first time last night, right back at it. You want to send a message. I mean, obviously, North Bay tried to, extend, on the win last night. For them, too, you talk about they've had a tough stretch here at home, too. Just one win, 4 losses on home ice. And it starts to seep in a bit. And you start to figure out why that was. And, for the Colts, too, they've been, over the years, they've been such a good team on home ice. And it's been a different story this year early. And you want to get that. And sometimes, I feel a bit guilty asking Dylan Smoskowitz about it and kind of repeating myself. But, it's just a story right now on home ice. And I mean, when you go on later in the year and you got these races that, are a couple of points difference, and you wonder, well, if we had been better at home early on, it could have made the difference.
Well, especially, too, with how heavy the home schedule has been to start this regular season. We're going to start seeing more road games coming up. We're in Sudbury on Friday and then the following Wednesday in Brantford. So we're going to start to see some more bus legs here for this Barrie Colts team. And right now, still trying to get that first goal as play continues here in the second period. Procession carrying it in for the Battalion, trying to go to the net. Drag, stopped by Jazzball. Nice save there by the Colts goaltender. Battalion trying to move it around. Amidovsky sends it to the far boards. Procession picks it up. Moses trying to catch up to the loose puck. Deshaun Aitchison in a battle with Moses. Puck goes to the corner. Gardner gets to it. He takes the hit there from Shamar Moses. Aitchison digs it free. Sets up Acidorian on the near boards. His pass attempt goes off a Battalion player. Now he'll follow it up himself. Acidorian dropping it there for Gardner. Across finds Bodwin. Up the middle. Aitchison. His shot stopped by McIver. What a great setup there for the Barrie Colts as they enter the zone. But Mike McIver gets the better of them.
Well, just great puck by Barrie there. And again, the ability to get in open space. Come right into that slot area. And again, just a nice setup there. And I think you're starting to see a bit of chemistry with these guys, getting used to each other. With that line of Bowman, Gardner, and Acidori and the veterans, they've been really strong here today.
Yeah, that top line, all 4 members who touched the puck there on that player, your top 4 point getters on the Barrie Colts roster. As we now get the face-off to the left of McIver. Scrambled draw, Battalion get it. Carter Lowe trying to dig it free, takes it back behind the North Bay net. After the loose puck, that's Sam Black. Sends that one around. Emerton comes off the point, hits the brakes, sends it back to the blue line. Here's Salandra. Joe Salandra with a shot. That's blocked. Getting in the way was Ryder Callie. Puck goes behind the North Bay net. Carter Lowe back to Emerton. Takes the shot. Blocked in front as Warren will get it out to Callie. Vaughn receives the pass. They enter the zone. Takes the shot. That's going to go wide. Ryder Callie after it. Drops it there for Warren. Eliason knocks Warren off stride. And the Colts get it out to center. Back at his own blue line. Capogridis will send that one forward. Here's Callie again. Chips that one off. He's going to go off for a change. Eliason behind his own net. Sends that one around. That's out of the reach of Lowe. Shot from the point. Stumped by Jazzwall. Bromby trying to get it out for the Colts. Vaughn puts it right back into the Barrie zone. Knocked down by Eliason. Eliason gives that one up to Emerton. Cole Emerton. Long stretch pass. Finds Jaden Newton. Newton can't hold on to it. Puck sent out to center ice. Eliason, he's going to put it right back into the North Bay zone. That goes off the end boards. McIver playing that one ahead. Battalion with possession. Trying to play it there. Battalion gets to the line. Now it's out. That's center ice. Schneid chasing after it. He's able to set up Aitchison, but he can't hold on to it. Debratsev loses the handle of it as it's taken away by Crombie. Calvin Crombie skates through the neutral zone, takes the shot. That's blocked. Schneid after it. Goes back to Crombie. It went off his skate. Newton gets it in the corner. They'll try and skate this one around. Drops it now for Crombie as they try the cycle. Puck comes to the near side now for Aitchison. Aitchison with a shot through a crowd, and that one stopped by McIver, and then McIver giving some slashes there to the Colt player who's being surrounded. I think we're getting a penalty out of this. It was Calvin Crombie going to the net. That's going to get some attention, and it looks like the Colts might be going shorthanded.
Well, Crombie's done a good job of going to the net. That time McIver taking reception and watch Easton. You look up, you got some traffic in front. Just throw that one on net, but watch Crombie come in. Just I think a little bit of a tap there is going to draw the ire of McIver. And we're going to have Calvin Crombie in the box, and North Bay will have their third power play of this contest.
Obviously, you want to protect the goaltenders. And we saw earlier this period when Desiderio skated into Mike McIver behind the net. And this time, Crombie makes contact, and that's going to be a penalty. So actually, they're going to call it a slashing penalty against Crombie. So maybe he made contact with a stick on Mike McIver. But either way, the Battalion on the man advantage. They have to start from behind their own net. Here's Cam Warren ahead for Moses through the neutral zone. Passing this one over to Callie. Back to the blue line. Procession at the line. Greer. Kent Greer sets up Moses. Moses from the far boards goes back to Greer. Greer with the shot through a crowd. Jaswal got a piece of it. Puck goes to the corner. Warren, he'll send this one back to the blue line. Greer over to Moses. Moses with a shot blocked by Passmore. Puck's loose. Ends up in the corner. Passmore delivers the check on Moses. Callie in front, but nice reaction there. Asadorian to take it away from Warren. Cam Warren, a procession stopped by Jaswal. What a save. As Arvin Jaswal kicks out that right pad. Battalion carrying it in. Moses. He has it this time. Under a minute remaining in the power play for the Battalion. Callie in a battle with Passmore. Back to the point. Greer. He'll take the shots, and that goes off the post. Battalion strike iron as Moses drops it back to Greer. Over to Warren. Warren takes the shot wide of the net. Puck's behind the goal. Procession picks it up for the Battalion. There's a shot from Moses, and Jaswal makes the save. Moses back to the point. Greer has it to Warren. Doesn't take the shot. Warren now fires, blocked by Passmore. Greer at the point takes the long shot, blocked again by Passmore. That one looks like it stung a bit as Evan Passmore will now make his way to the bench for a change. 17 seconds left in the power play. Procession. He'll put that to the far corner. Hanser collecting it now for the Colts. Sending this one around. That's going to go down the length of the ice as Calvin Crombie is ready to come back on the ice. McIver. How does that one go off Gardner? Puck goes to the far side. Back to even strength. 8:46 remaining now in the second period. Still no score here from Memorial Gardens. Colts with possession in the North Bay zone. That's Calvin Crombie. That pass deflected. Battalion trying to get it out. Wellenreiter along the boards. Chasing after it is Crombie. Back behind the net. Kanapowski. Near side, Wellenreiter. He's able to chip this one to the line. That'll escape. Wellenreiter picks it up in the neutral zone. Following it up, Kanapowski. Dropping that one there for Vaughn. Vaughn from the corner puts it in front. Good stick work there by Gardner. Sent that one to the corner. Barrie Colts trying to dig it free. That's Justin Hanser. Pazzi, though, he'll move it along the boards around the net. Digging at Pazzi. Taken there by Emerton. Pazzi still with it. Doesn't stop moving. Pazzi trying to drop it to the corner. Picked up by Vaughn. Edgar takes him into the boards. Picked up here by the Colts. Justin Hanser ahead. Harper keeps it at the point. Sends it up to Pazzi across. That pass to Amidovsky. Couldn't get the shot to go. That was Cole Emerton who disrupted that pass attempt. Amidovsky taken into the boards. Pazzi gets it again here for North Bay. Trying to keep it away from Edgar. Edgar reaching for it. Pazzi still with it behind the Barrie net. Down low, that's Long. Briar Long takes the hit. Amidovsky trying to collect it. Low, though, puts it off the boards. Hits the linesman. And he'll send it back into his own zone. Long's taken down. The fans want a penalty. None coming. Play continues. At center, Desiderio sends it ahead. Doesn't go too far. Desiderio gets it again, but it's a delayed offside. Now he'll send it in. Colts are making a line change with 7 minutes left to go. That one sent up the boards, deflected by Amidovsky, so no icing. Vader back behind his own net. Trying to pass the one up to Salandra. Bodie Stewart now drops that one back. Picked up by Aitchison. Aitchison chips it forward. Picked up by Salandra. Salandra with a shot. That goes wide of the net. Off the end board. Salandra gets to it himself. Back behind the North Bay net. Battalion pick it up. We'll send this one to the line. Now a chance for Amidovsky, but that's taken away by Aitchison. Kayshawn Aitchison behind his own net. Long pass. Trying to get to Desiderio. He touches it, so no icing. McIver, he'll play it up to Harper. Battalion trying to get it to the line. Not out. Bodie Stewart, he falls at the blue line. Vader can't keep it in. Delayed offside now against the Colts. Kayshawn Aitchison goes to Teague Vader. Up the wing. Getting a stick on it there was Gardner. McIver will play it off the end boards and gives it up to Greer. Kent Greer off the boards. Down the ice it goes. Icing is waved off. They're saying Passmore could have played it. Evan Passmore now behind his own net. With some speed here, it's Cole Baudouin ahead for Acidorian at center ice. He'll dump this one in. Takes a weird bounce as McIver was coming out of the net. Not able to take advantage was Gardner. Enright takes the puck into the boards. Colts trying to move it. Aaron Enright still with it. Gardner trying to send it to the blue line. Gets it a second time. Acidorian at the line. Here's Baudouin behind the North Bay net. Puck gets by him. In the corner. Cole Baudouin still with it. Greer on top of him. Battalion get it to the line. Not out. Kept in by Acidorian. That pass blocked. Here's Pazzi. Pazzi with the breakaway chance. Takes the shot. Stopped by Jazzball. But we've got a penalty coming against the Barrie Colts, as Pazzi had that breakaway, and now it's going to be a holding call against Alex Acidorian.
Well, North Bay really starting to kind of push forward, and it all started with that power play. A couple of great chances. Jazzwall making a couple of big saves, and another big one right there as Pazzi came in racing, able to fight off Acidorian, but he draws the call. And you get the sense, the desperation or the power play that North Bay pushing hard. Last power play, there's another opportunity here of the game here. A couple of chances. Last power play good, and Jazzwell's had to be sharp here in the line of stage for the second period.
Shots pretty close right now between these two teams, 20-19 in favor of the Barrie Colts. But those are one of those penalties where if it wasn't for Acidorian, Pazzi would have had an easy lane to the nets. But Jazzwall, like you said, makes that big save. That goes to show how dangerous this offense can be with the North Bay Battalion.
North Bay really just taking it to another level in that power play. They were able to keep the Colts pinned to their own zone and move the puck around. And Jazzwell had to come up with a couple of big stops there, especially on procession in the slot. Another opportunity here for North Bay, another big penalty kill for the Barrie Colts here in the latter stage of this second period of a scoreless hockey game.
So the faceoff coming to the left of Jazzwall. They drop the puck, but they're going to try this once more. Cole Baudouin will take the draw as they try and figure things out. Procession's going to be tossed out. Baudouin sets to take the draw. In comes Cam Warren. Face-off won by the Colts. Passmore, he'll take it around his own net. He'll clear it right away. Right on net. McIver there to play it. Rear. He's going to take it back behind his own net as the Battalion regroup. 1:46 still to go in this power play. Leaving it there for Moses. Moses with speed through the neutral zone, passing it over to Procession. Procession sends that one around. Passmore trying to catch up to that loose puck. There's Moses. Shamar Moses. He's tied up. Colts get to that loose puck. Near side now, Warren. Cam Warren back to the point for Greer. Kent Greer takes the shot himself at the post. Rebound, scores. Ethan Procession able to pounce on that loose puck after Greer's shot went off the post. And it's now 1-0 North Bay.
This North Bay power play has gotten better and better as the game goes along. They come close last time. This time, Procession buries the rebound in front. And North Bay finally opens the scoring in this one.
So that's going to be a power play goal for the North Bay Battalion. You give them enough chances, and they finally capitalize. It looked like it was Procession who scored the goal, but Ryder Cali led the parade to the North Bay bench. So we'll wait and see for confirmation as to who gets that tally. But either way, We now have our first goal of the hockey game.
Might have been Kelly that actually buried that rebound. Either way, North Bay strikes first.
So it's going to be Ryder Cali being given credit for that opening goal. Ryder Cali now with 7 goals on the season. What an outstanding run he's having. And now we'll see how the Barrie Colts respond. Battalion will get this one to center ice. That's going to go deep around the Colts net. Hanser's there to play it for Barrie. Cole Baudouin up to Lowe. Carter Lowe on the wing, goes across, finds Gardner. Gardner dropping it there for Baudouin, but he couldn't pick it up. Loose puck picked up by Laird. Gives it up to Greer. Kent Greer enters the zone for North Bay. Across to Moses. Puck's bouncing, knocked away by Aitchison. Puck's loose in front of the Colts net. Aitchison will come up with it. He's going to reach center ice. Aitchison flipping this one deep. Back after it will be Greer for the North Bay Battalion. 3:45 left to go here. Puck's turned over, but McIver got a paddle in the way as Edgar was trying to set up Desiderio in front. Laird along the boards. He'll pass this one back to Enright. Enright passing this one forward. Parker Vaughn at the Colts blue line gives that one up. Laird down low for the troops. Has it in the corner. We'll leave it there. Vaughn gives it up to Wellenreiter. Taken away by Aitchison, and he'll get this one out to center ice. Enright sends this one deep. Jaswal leaving it there for his defense. It's Emerton. Emerton passing this one forward. Edgar. As in the skates of Enright. Battalion send it right back into the Barrie zone. 3 minutes now remaining in the second period. Kayshawn Aitchison being chased. Debratsev will chase him out to center ice. Now the Colts send it to the near side. Desiderio enters the zone. Takes the hit from Manzo. Far side Salandra. Desiderio behind the North Bay net. Nicholas Desiderio in front. Stewart trying to get a stick on it, but that's taken away. As the Battalion get it to the line. Wellenreiter chips that one forward, and they'll get it out. Debratsev sending that one over. Epigritis to Vaughn. His shot blocked by Black. Behind the Colts net it goes. Picked up here by Hanser. Justin Hanser up to Black. Or make that Schneid. William Schneid up to Stewart. Stewart's in the net. Says Black couldn't get a stick on it. McIver had the paddle down, and that one's going to go out of play.
An opportunity to for Barrie as Sam Black goes to the net there, and McIver an active stick. Could have been a really good chance to put a net for the Barrie Colts. And so you wonder how are they going to react after giving up that goal. North Bay's power play, the previous power play, you could really feel them coming in that desperation, and they end up capitalizing. Now, how's Barrie going to react to that? North Bay kind of fed off the momentum the next couple of shifts. Now important for Barrie to push back here. Still just a 1-goal lead. 2:14 remaining.
Battalion will win that face-off. Puck sent around. 2 minutes now left to go in the second period. As it ends up back in the Barrie zone. Aitchison ahead. Newton trying to play it. Following it up is Baudouin. Cole Baudouin carrying it into the North Bay zone. Puck rolls to the corner. Baudouin behind the North Bay net. Here's Passmore. He's kind of handcuffed by it. Puck taken away by Moses. Sends that one up to Amadovsky, but that's taken away by Aitchison. Aitchison takes the hit from Amadovsky. Puck's kept in by Procession, but Jaden Newton able to get it out ahead for Baudouin. Cole Baudouin takes the hit from Enright. Puck goes behind the North Bay net and around. Aitchison can't keep it in at the point. Amadovsky will give chase. Here Amadovsky taken down by Eliason. Gabriel Eliason will take it away. Aitchison up the wing. Pazzi coming off the bench. He'll steal it. Pazzi at the line. Keeps that one in. North Bay right now finishing the line change as Kayshawn Aitchison will take it back behind his own net. 1:12 now left in the period. Aitchison gives that one up to Eliason. Up the wing. Finds Stewart. Got a stick on it, but that made contact with the glass at the Barrie Colts bench, so we're going to get a whistle.
1:03 remaining now in this 1-0 game, and North Bay 1 for 4 on the power play. Barrie 0 for 2. That second power play was a bit of a short one. Barrie still have the third period. Another big third period coming up. Last night, Barrie had a 3-2 lead, and North Bay with back-to-back goals just seconds apart. made the difference. Right now, the Colts down by a goal. And I feel North Bay just kind of stepping up here late in the second period. And now the question is Barrie going to respond to that?
Yeah, it's all about the momentum. And we saw in the first period, Colts having a very strong first period, but here in the second, like you said, you can get that sense that North Bay just building that momentum and benefiting with that 1-goal advantage, that goal from Ryder Cali. As the Colts get this one out to center ice, knocked out by Manzo, ends up going off Schneid into the North Bay zone. Wachowski out to center, Colts recover. Emerton's going to send it back into the North Bay zone. 39 seconds left in the period. And at the point, Gabriel Eliasson. Eliasson takes the shot. A crowd. Salandra couldn't get a stick on it. Emerton in front to Schneid. Takes the shot. Kicked aside by McIver. And the battalion will get it out. Cronin sends that one forward to Pazzi. Pazzi up to Debratsev. Debratsev finds Manzo. He's got a lane to the net. Takes the shot. Scores. Adrian Manzo had a lane to the net after a great pass. And he buries it. It's now 2-0.
He's left all alone in front. What a shot right to the top corner over the blocker of Jaswell. What a spin, little wide open, right in that slot area, walks into that face-off dot. Face-off circle and just wires one over Jaswell. It's 2 late goals. The North Bay up 2-0.
You can't give players like Manzo all that time and room as he has his first of the season. He was acquired from the Windsor Spitfires last season and fitting in quite well with this North Bay Battalion team who extended that lead with 16 seconds left in the period.
What a nice feed on that one there. Just a turn on the inside board. And
Moses sends that to the corner. Shamar Moses dropping that one behind the net. The crowd right into this hockey game as that goal coming in the final net. There's a late hit at the buzzer as Procession took a run at Cole Bodwin. That was a hit from behind. The official's arms going up right away, and Cole Bodwin right now on his knees as he is slow to get up. Even Procession. A very dangerous play. Now we've got the trainers coming out to take a look at Cole Bodwin, who is still on his knees right now. As that hit delivered right at the buzzer at the corner in the Barrie Colts zone.
Procession trying to get under the skin of Bodwin, and that was a late hit. See what the officials come away with that.
Well, now Amidovsky having words with Gardner, and those two have to be separated. As there's some bad blood right now. Now Cole Bodwin is on his skates. He's hunched over, but he's going to leave the ice under his own power. Not something you want to see if you're a fan of the Barrie Colts. Cole Bodwin going down. So we'll have to wait and see how this is all going to work out. We know Ethan Procession was going to be given a penalty as a result of that hit from behind. Dylan Smoskowitz wanting an explanation. It looks like this might be just a 2-minute minor for that hit from behind. As the official signaling to the timekeeper's bench. So not the way you want to end the period. Your team already down 2-0, and then now you see Cole Bodwin going down. We'll have to keep an eye on him just to see his status. That was quite the dangerous play there in the corner.
Leader, I mean, we saw them drop the mitts last night, and Procession, obviously his job to shut down Bodwin. Getting that assignment there, and we're going to see it. Just a 2-minute minor for that, but the Colts will start the third with a power play opportunity. They're third of the game, but right now they're down 2-0 after 40 minutes. That late power play goal, and I think really those late power plays really switched momentum. I think gave North Bay a bit of a favorite. They started coming on, and a couple of good chances the first opportunity. Then they finally get one, and then the late second goal, and North Bay in control going into this third period.
Well, official Mike Cairns right now having a discussion with Ryan Oulahan. Dylan Smoskowitz also wanting a conversation as it's just the 2 minutes to Ethan Procession. So a dangerous play in the corner. We'll keep an eye on Cole Beaudoin, see if he comes back in the third period. But Barrie Colts, they got to take advantage of their opportunities. You're going to have that power play at the start. And really not a bad second period for the Barrie Colts, despite the score, as they were, right in it. Play was going back and forth, but the battalion benefiting off a couple of opportunities that went their way. And now we see it as a 2-0 hockey game.
Yeah, it was a scoreless game, and then obviously North Bay gets that power play opportunity. They had a couple of great chances. Jaswell made a great stop, and actually I think a couple of them. But you can kind of feel the momentum switching and building off that. And then North Bay, again, you get on the board, you get a power play goal, and then that late goal on the beautiful feed there in front of Manzo, and he makes no mistake. But for Barrie here, you got that power play early. You got to take advantage. You got to, the power play has been much better of late. It's been improving, and an opportunity here to put yourself right back in this game early in the third.
So the Barrie Colts down 2-0 against the North Bay Battalion. We'll be going to the OHL news, and then after that, we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard and take a look at the fan chats. So the chat will be open. So if you have any comments, questions about the Barrie Colts or the rest of the Ontario Hockey League, you can put your comments there, and we will get to it in a moment. So we're just going to go to the OHL news, and we will be back with you here at the Boart Longyear Memorial Gardens in North Bay.
Hello everyone, I'm Terry Doyle. Thanks for joining us on this week's edition of OHL News. Coming up on the show, we'll talk to the leading scorer in the Ontario Hockey League coming into this week's play. But first, this week's Cogeco OHL Player of the Week is Jake O'Brien of the Brantford Bulldogs. The Seattle Kraken first-round draft pick picked up 4 goals and 4 assists for 8 points as the Bulldogs went 3-0 in last week's play. The 18-year-old, who hails from Toronto, comes into this week's play sitting second in OHL scoring with 13 points on the back of 5 goals and 8 assists through just 6 games as he came back from the Kraken camp. He also comes into this week's play with a +11 rating. He was the OHL Rookie of the Year following the 2023-2024 season after being chosen by the Bulldogs 8th overall in the 2023 OHL Priority Selection. Meantime, the top scorer in the Ontario Hockey League coming into this weekend's play has no goals. 15 assists for Carson Woodall, the defenseman for the Windsor Spitfires. Woodall leading the league in scoring. As we sat down for a chat this week, I asked whether being the leading scorer in the OHL was a surprise.
Well, Carson, if I told you at the beginning of the season that going into Rivalry Week you'd be the leading scorer in the Ontario Hockey League, would you have said, cool, but wait, surprising? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely surprised. Big thanks to my teammates. Can't have 15 assists without the help of your teammates, right? So, yeah, definitely surprised, but just got to keep momentum rolling, I guess.
If I had asked you in the summer, what were some of the goals, and I say that not necessarily in terms of numbers, but what were your goals coming into this season?
Just to win with the Spitfires. It's my only focus right now is to win. Obviously, being a hometown kid and a fan for my whole life, is I want to add number 4 to the Memorial Cup total, and I think we got the team here to do it. So I'm super excited for the rest of the year and hopefully some more wins to rally up.
A lot of these guys on your team have been together now for a couple of years, and have you found that this group has really been able to grow together?
Yeah, definitely. Our 06 class, there's 6 of us now, I think, and we've been together for some guys 4 years, and me and Davey 3 years now, and just some of the tightest group and some of my best friends. And I think the off ice, how tight we are as a group kind of translates onto the ice. We've all kind of grown together and seen each other grow up, and it's really been amazing. So
you're a Windsor area kid, as you mentioned, being a fan of the Spitfires growing up, seeing the teams that had success in the past. Take me back when even you first were a rookie with the Windsor Spitfires. You have to pinch yourself a little bit. Like, I'm on the ice, I'm wearing the jersey of the team that I saw when I was a little kid.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, a dream come true. I watched them win in 2017. I was here when Sergachev was hoisting the cup right in front of the glass, right where I was, and that was when I was 11 years old. And when I first kind of got the call and told I was going to play on the team and stuff, yeah, exactly like you said, I had to pinch myself and make sure I wasn't dreaming, because just a surreal experience. And it's cool seeing the kids and fans come up to me, and I was like that at one point too, just uh, you know trying to take pictures and stuff with the Spits. I got a signed jersey in my basement with Taylor Hall and Ryan Ellis and all those guys. So always try and give back. And yeah, I mean, just incredible.
For this group, obviously last year's playoffs, I've got to think, left a sour taste with injuries and the way Kitchener was able to come back against you guys. Is that one that maybe, that bad taste is maybe the best thing to happen now to this year's Spitfires, to be hungry, even more hungry for this year's, success this season?
Yeah, 100%. Exactly like you said. I mean, I think there was 8 of us sitting in a suite at home during Game 7, and had to watch the overtime loss. And, it was heartbreaking just sitting upstairs knowing you can't do anything. But yeah, coming into this year, I mean, try not to think about it too much. But, when we head back to the odd, I'm sure we'll have a little extra firepower through us. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it sucked, but yeah, just bounce back this year and hopefully do better.
How has your game grown, do you find, in your time with the Windsor Spitfires?
Yeah, tremendously. I mean, we have a great staff here. I've been working with Coach Casey now for all 3 years I've been here. He's been here, and a lot of small details, trying to get better defensive positioning, winning 50-50 puck battles and stuff like that. And I mean, it all comes from our staff. We have mental performance coach. I find that's a big thing that I've learned about while being here, is taking care of the mental side of your game as well, and stuff that happens off the ice. So yeah, I mean, I've grown pretty much in every aspect, and it's all thanks to the guys around me and our coaches around me too.
This is OHL Rivalry Week. You guys have the Sarnia Sting for back-to-back games. You see each other 6 times a year. I've got to think it really doesn't matter what's going on in the standings. When you and Sarnia hook up, can lead to some interesting games.
Yeah, every time we go into the Hive, it's always a battle, always some scrums, and they got some guys back since the last time that we've played them. So not even looking at the past for these 2 games. Just roll in there and keep our momentum going. Play our way, and obviously a little extra firepower against the Sting always.
For people listening to us province-wide, something that's made a name for itself in the Windsor area, but you can fill us in on the bigger audience, is Woody's Hoodies. What is Woody's Hoodies?
Yeah, Woody's Hoodies is a initiative I started. My grandma passed away from breast cancer. My other grandma has ovarian cancer, so I wanted to do something for the community. We started selling hoodies, and my nickname is Woody, so we did Woody's Hoodies. And we started selling Woodies on woodieshoodies.ca if you want to check it out. We donate 24% of all sales to cancer research and other cancer things in our area. So yeah, we've surpassed $110,000 donated now, whether that's to the hospice in Leamington, which is where my grandma was, the Windsor Cancer Society, and then the Play for a Cure Initiative project, is where we did $100,000 for a research project for breast cancer around here. And yeah, it's just been a surreal experience seeing people wear them in the stands and people supporting me. It's been truly amazing, and I'm sure my grandmas both love it.
That's Carson Woodall of the Windsor Spitfires. As we take a look at this week's CHL Top 10 rankings presented by Delta Hotels by Marriott, the Brantford Bulldogs are the top team in the nation, number 1 in the OHL, number 1 on the CHL Top 10 rankings. The Windsor Spitfires come in at number 3, and the Kitchener Rangers at 6. That's going to do it for our show this week. You've been listening to OHL News. I'm Terry Doyle. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome back to the Boart Longyear Memorial Gardens in North Bay, as the Barrie Colts right now trailing the Battalion by a score of 2-0. The Colts, they're going to be going on the power play when we start the third period after Ethan Procession taking that run at Cole Baudouin in the corner. So the check from behind penalty. Baudouin looked a little shaken up. We'll have to wait and see if he comes back on the bench here for the Barrie Colts. So a big turning point potentially as we head into the third period of play here in North Bay. We still have about 9 minutes to go until the start of the third. We do have the live chat open. And of course, doing these broadcasts on YouTube, we do have the capabilities to have fan interaction. And we love to do that here on the road as we continue these broadcasts for the Barrie Colts on the road this season here on the channel from the booth with Mike. And I'm seeing Adam with a couple of comments. You notice that North Bay going with Mike McIver on the short turnaround back to back, while the Colts sit Harebic. Usually you'd see a gentleman's agreement where both backups start in these situations. And can you clarify if the battalion get last lineups, middles? And if so, do you see this a faux pas by Coach Uli? I wouldn't be surprised if for Houlihan wanting to go with McIver here on back-to-back starts, he's more than capable as the battalion getting that win last night, snapping a 2-game losing streak, and getting that opportunity now to extend that streak against the Barrie Colts team that has been having some issues playing a full 60 minutes, and it's kind of been on display again here this afternoon. Great first period by the Barrie Colts, but like McIver, he's been outstanding, probably one of the best goaltenders in the OHL. Maybe I feel he's a little underrated, but he's now faced 21 shots his way, and it's been perfect so far. And of course, the Barrie Colts have the power play to start third period, so Mike McIver likely busy when we start the third period of play. But if you have any other comments or if you want to start a conversation here on the channel, you can put that in the chats, and we'll get to that as soon as we can. And Gene Pereira also here in North Bay. He'll be back with us momentarily as we get set for the third period, starting in about 7 minutes time. So while we have a moment, let's take a look at the OHL out-of-town scoreboard. Starting off in Brampton, the Steelheads right now up 3-2 on the Erie Otters. So Brampton trying to get back in the win column after a couple of tough losses against the Brantford Bulldogs in their rivalry series. The Kitchener Rangers and London Knights, they're now tied at 1 apiece. That one in the later stages of the second period of play. And heading over to Ottawa, it's the 67s taking on the Kingston Frontenacs. That game right now tied at 1 apiece, as that was a late start at the TD Arena in Ottawa. The 67s, one of those big surprises this year, as they've been climbing the standings steadily in the Eastern Conference. And then later this afternoon, the Saginaw Spirit and Flint Firebirds resume their rivalry series starting at 5:30 in Saginaw. And then it's the Oshawa Generals at home against the Peterborough Petes. So it's been a wild game so far here in North Bay. The Barrie Colts trying to get back on the scoreboard. It took until late in the second period for us to get our first goals of the hockey game. Your goal scorers so far here this afternoon: Ryder Cali opened the scoring on the power play, and then Manzo getting his first career goal as a member of the North Bay Battalion. He's acquired at the OHL trade deadline from the Windsor Spitfires, and he's been quite steady. And that goal was fantastic for Manzo getting that open ice and really taking advantage of that opportunity. And like I mentioned, we do have the chat. It is open. And Josh asking, what's your favorite OHL rivalry? Personally, for me, I grew up watching the Kitchener Rangers. So one of my favorite rivalries is probably the Kitchener Guelph. Right now, those two teams trying to settle who's going to be the host for the 2027 Memorial Cup. So that would probably be my personal favorite. But I've never had a chance yet to take in an Oshawa-Peterborough game. Those two, of course, the oldest franchises in the Ontario Hockey League and have a great history. And it'd be great to see those two. That's a classic. And then another great one is probably Barrie-Sudbury, just with my connections between the two franchises. And we'll actually be making our first trip to Sudbury with the broadcast on Friday. So if you haven't clicked subscribe yet on this channel and you want to be notified when we have the broadcast live here, you'll be, click subscribe today and you'll be notified when we do that live stream. It's a 7 o'clock puck drop in Sudbury on Friday, and we'll get the live stream underway at 6:45. And cannot wait to be back in Sudbury. We get the first installment of the rivalry between the Barrie Colts and the Sudbury Wolves, and that'll be at the Sudbury Community Arena. We're actually making all 4 trips to Sudbury before the end of November. So that's going to be a fun trip when we get back to the Sudbury Community Arena. So it's a 2-0 score here at North Bay Memorial Gardens, and we'll see what takes place here as we get ready for this third period of play. And yeah, like I was saying, it's been an exciting matchup. We'll see what's in store here. Gene Pereira has returned from his adventures. And yeah, I cannot wait to get this third period underway. We're 4 minutes away from the third period. And there was a question on the chat: what's the favorite rivalry in the OHL? I was kind of leaning towards Kitchener Guelph because of my past, but what would you say is your favorite?
In terms of longevity and so on, I think that Peterborough Oshawa one was always
Yeah.
a really good one over the years, and the two rivals there. But for Barrie, it's interesting. Sudbury, I
Yep.
think is always although Sudbury might look at the Sioux, but I think Barrie Sudbury has been one over the years, and it's changed a little bit, obviously, with the Mississauga Steelheads, now Brampton Steelheads as well, adding in there.
Well, the Barrie Colts and the Brampton Battalion, they had quite the rivalry back then with some playoff series. I know the Barrie Colts usually had the advantage, it seemed, when it was the Brampton Battalion days come playoff time. So that's got to be up there too with going back.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some great games. I think it was the 3 overtime one there that go through the years, and again, you get into these divisions. I remember the first year Barrie had Kitchener in their division there.
To, I think, keep Cole Baudouin off the ice, but it is great to see that Baudouin is back.
It's a big thing. I remember coming back from Utah the night that he got in just a little past game time. He wanted to get back out there on the ice right away. And that's a big reason why he's wearing the C right there.
So Cole Baudouin ready to take the draw here as the Colts go on the Frontline Hockey Apparel power play. And this third period now underway. Puck sent deep into the North Bay zone. Greer there to collect it for the Battalion. He's tied up by Aitchison. North Bay trying to dig this one free. Aitchison in the middle of it. Colts with possession. Back to the point. Emerton across. Finds Gardner in front of low side of the net. Scores! Cole Baudouin. If you need someone to score on the power play, Cole Baudouin. He's the right candidate. And the Colts are on the board.
The fans don't like it with Baudouin back on the ice, but what a big goal for the Barrie Colts. That's how you answer right back. And again, just good work down low and good puck movement here. Watch Lowe's going to come and, if that was an attempted pass or a shot, but nonetheless, it found its way to Cole Baudouin and he tapped it in at the side of the net. Barrie cuts the lead on half.
So for Cole Baudouin, that's now 4 goals on the season. As he seems to be okay after taking that hit from behind at the end of the second period. The fans were also wanting a penalty, I think, on Kayshawn Aitchison as he was in a battle in the corner on top of one of the Battalion players. But the Barrie Colts now within 1 as they send this one deep. Gardner after it. Baudouin again out there for the Barrie Colts. He's run over. And the fans cheering as Cole Baudouin gets hit by Enright. And now we've got another penalty coming. Brad Gardner, I think, is getting the penalty as he went after Enright, who took a run at Cole Baudouin. Baudouin has the target on his back, and Brad Gardner stepping up for his teammate.
Again, you're down by a goal here, but you got to answer. You can't let them push your captain around. And Gardner, the veteran, taking exception after Baudouin's.
Well, it looks like we're actually getting more penalties. Kayshawn Aitchison and Ethan Procession were having words at the North Bay blue line. And the official has seen enough, and he's sending those 2 off. So the captains for both teams all in the penalty box.
Official looking to cool things off here. Still going to be a Barrie power play. Or, excuse me, North Bay. We had a North Bay power play coming up.
So we've got Aitchison and Gardner in the box for the Barrie Colts and Ethan Procession for the Battalion. We're waiting to see the numbers going on the board. As the first penalty was Brad Gardner, so that was going to be the power play for North Bay. So that's now on the clock, so it should be a 5-on-4 situation here.
Power play number 5 on the night. The North Bay, I mean, the last 2 power plays much better for North Bay. really ramping it up, see if they can continue that here to start the third period. But huge penalty kill coming up from Barrie Colts.
Well, the North Bay Battalion scored on their last man, Vaughn. Two former Colts are out there on this power play. Warren on the far side. Takes it down low, takes the shot. Jaswal got a piece of it. And that's going to go out of play with 1:39 remaining on this power play.
Oh, Warren, I mean, that North Bay power play, a lot of it goes through the young forward, and for good reason. It's great vision, great decision making, the ability to really create offense, and part of this North Bay power play already.
So face off to the left of Arvin Jaswal. Scramble draw, the Colts will win it. Passmore comes out from behind the net. He's going to send this down the length of the ice. Greer back after it for North Bay. Macedonian on the forecheck. Greer has to turn back behind his own net. Being watched there by Macedonian. Greer, he'll skate this one forward. Greer drops it back. Picked up here by Warren. Cam Warren passing it ahead, but that's picked off by Beaudoin. Cole Beaudoin at center ice, had it taken away by Vaughn. Carrying it in now is Moses. Moses trying to drop it back to Callie, but the Colts, they're able to send this down the ice. Mike McIver coming well out of his net to play it. He's just going to guide it back behind his own net as both teams make changes. 55 seconds left in the power play here for North Bay. Carrying it ahead, Wellenreiter through the neutral zone. Up to Pronin. Hands are got a stick on it. Battalion at the point, that's Harper. Gives it up to Wellenreiter. Wellenreiter in the middle, stopped by Jaswal. He had Pronin standing right in front of him. And he'll hold on for the faceoff.
Their final starts in the afternoon for Slow Neighborhood. There's 40 seconds remaining in that North Bay power play. Penalty kill for the Barrie Colts and gain momentum, capitalize on the power play. And, Mike, is this going to be a Niagara type of third for Barrie, or?
Well, that was a bigger hole at the Meridian Center when they were down 5-1. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here as the Colts right away get this down the length of the ice. 31 seconds left in the power play for the Battalion. Harper will drop this one back. Wellenreiter picking up momentum through the neutral zone. Wellenreiter sends this one deep. Eliasson gets a stick on it, ends up behind the Colts net. Cronin back to Harper. Harper sends up Wellenreiter. Back to Harper. Across. There's the shot. That's stopped by Jaswal. There's Wellenreiter. Will send this one around. Amidovsky chasing after it. Can't keep that one in. As Brad Gardner now coming out of the penalty box. Or actually, it's Kayshawn Aitchison they're releasing. A little surprised by that. Thought Gardner would have been the one out. Through center ice. Here's Amidovsky. Knocked away there by Emerton. Calvin Crombie will skate through the neutral zone. Crombie over to Desiderio. Ends up behind the North Bay net. Crombie sends it back to the point. Quickly shot, but not getting all of that was Passmore. That's going to roll down the length of the ice. Icing's beat by Amidovsky. Amidovsky back to Peperitis. He can't get the shot to go. Colts get it to the line and out. Cole Emerton at center. He's going to dump it in. Back behind the North Bay net it goes. McIver again out of his net. That's sent up the middle. Aitchison will pick it up in the neutral zone. Dumps it right back into the North Bay end. Peperitis ahead. Stopped there by Crombie. Calvin Crombie, a pass across, but that's picked off. Battalion with possession. Pazzi back behind his own net he goes. Pazzi got that speed. That was picked off, but offside as Calvin Crombie made contact inside the blue line.
Pretty good jump by Bear to start this third period. Yeah, right, Mike. I mean, you take away that late surge on the power plays by North Bay in that second period, and it's pretty consistent effort for Barrie here tonight. You look at the shots, 26-22, but North Bay's had 5 power plays to Barrie's 3.
It's been an entertaining game to wrap up this rivalry week between the Colts and the Battalion. As Barrie has it now deep in their own zone, 4 minutes into this third period, 2-1 for the Battalion. As the Colts trying to chip at that lead. Puck's now behind the North Bay net. Carter Lowe there. Takes the hit. Vaughn dropping it back. Konopaski sends that one forward. Harper got a stick on it. Hanser deep in his own zone, trying to keep it away from Callie. Sends that one forward to Carter Lowe. Here's Salandra at center ice. Joe Salandra takes the shot. Stopped there by McIver, but Salandra was run over by Kunapaski. Warren dropping it back to Harper. Salandra heading off for a change. Battalion send it ahead, but that's picked off at center by Aitchison. He'll flip it right back into the North Bay zone. McIver leaving it there for his defense. Callie up to Warren. Cam Warren sending that one ahead. Stopped there by Asadorian. Cole Beaudoin has the lone goal here this afternoon for the Barrie Colts. Skates this one ahead, hits the brakes. Beaudoin trying to send it back. Loose puck. Gardner lost it in front. And the Battalion will get it out. It's going to roll on net, so no icing here. And Jaswal not taking any risks. He'll cover it up.
Gardner trying to slip it through the legs of the Battalion defenseman there. Just couldn't get it around him. In front. 49 remaining. Shots now 26-23 and one goal deficit.
Face off to the left of Jaswal. One there by Beaudoin. Back to Passmore. Trying to send along the boards. He was stopped by Moses. Beaudoin behind his own net. Goes to Aitchison. Up the wing. Finds Asadorian. Cross ice feed. Beaudoin through center. Cole Beaudoin cuts to the middle. Takes the shot. Scores! Cole Beaudoin will do it himself. Takes it into the slot. And this game is tied at 2.
Oh, what a play by Beaudoin to work his way into the slot and then just right underneath McIver. And again, I mean, you want guys to step up, and this is the reason why they wear letters and the leadership group. You watch Beaudoin just, take over in this third period. Him and Precision have had this huge battle last night. Well, how does Cole Beaudoin respond to that big hit? Well, he scored 2 goals to tie it up.
It seemed to have waken up Cole Beaudoin. Those 2 goals, now 5 on the season. As the Barrie Colts right back in this hockey game, tied at 2. They've overcome that 2-goal deficit. Emerton in his own zone, sends that one ahead to Crombie. Crombie gets it out of his zone. Ahead, finds Newton. Jaden Newton hits the brakes, trying to keep it away from Manzo. Manzo, though, will knock it away and down the ice. Jaswal's going to come out of his net to play it, trying that long pass. Actually goes off the linesman. He's trying to get it up to Crombie. Schneid along the boards. That goes back in the North Bay zone. Off of Laird. He's going to peel back. Across for Kapagaritis. Ahead to Laird. Laird on his backhand. Takes the shot. Stopped by Jaswal. And he'll cover that one up. Thought about playing it, but instead will take the face-off with 13:46 remaining. But what an effort. Really, the story's Cole Beaudoin takes that hit from behind at the end of the second period. And then here with 2 goals of his own.
How are you going to respond from that? Oh, there's his answer right there. And what a game this has turned to be out this afternoon here in North Bay.
Well, these 2 teams continue to go back and forth. We saw it last night. A little more of a sloppy game yesterday in Barrie for both teams. It wasn't just one team that was having a tough night. But here, the 2 sides seem to be a little more dialed in. That physicality still there. As I feel as though this might be the better performance from both teams.
Yeah, much better, I think, game than last night. All around in a lot of ways from both these teams. And Beaudoin, you just get a different feeling here in the third period. The Colts know that they've come up with some not so great third periods of late, and much better here to start, obviously. But I feel that they're into this one. They really want this one bad. You can tell it out there.
So we'll get a face-off to the left of Jaswal. Beaudoin taking the draw against Procession. No surprise, these 2. Actually, Procession now being tossed out of the face-off dot, so in comes Shamar Moses. Beaudoin and Moses getting some last-second instructions. They'll drop the puck, won by the Colts. Aitchison, he's just going to flip this one down the ice, got too much under it. As that's going to be an icing call against Barrie, and we'll do this face-off all over again.
13:39. We talked about the battles and how close were things before. Well, I think it's going to tighten up, and I think these teams. I think the Ambos don't give them much room to operate. See a lot more close checking here.
Colts win the faceoff. Acidorian sends it deep into the North Bay zone. McIver trying to slow it down. Acidorian sends it around. Passmore at the point. Takes the shot, deflected. McIver with the save. Enright sends it along the boards. Moses trying to play it. At the point, kept in by Gardner. That's sent back behind the net. Enright, Godwin lines him up. Those two collide along the boards. Battalion get it out. Bodies flying everywhere. As Moses carries it in, takes the shot. That's blocked by Passmore. Side of the goal, and the Battalion couldn't get to that loose puck. Enright at the point. Sets up Greer. Greer with a shot stopped by Jaswal. Puck comes off the sideboards, and the Battalion, that pass doesn't connect, and it's going to go down the length of the ice. McIver coming out to catch the Colts in the line change. Amidovsky hits the brakes. He's knocked over, and the Colts move it up. Teague Vader skates it into the zone. Vader, Salandra, back to Vader. Vader with the shots, and that goes over the net. That one's going to sail all the way back to the neutral zone, picked up by Justin Hanser of the Colts. Back up to Vader. Vader enters the zone, but made that extra move and put a couple of his teammates offside.
The weekend there, I think the benches are going to get shortened here. I mean, how much are we going to see Cole Bowden, Kayshawn Aitchison, and Brad Gardner, and Alex Acidorian? I mean, you go back to that big comeback in Niagara, I don't think they barely came off the ice, the big guns. And I think I expect Phyllis Moskowitz to go to his big guns here in this third period.
Well, it's the last game of the weekend. Barrie not back on the ice until Friday against the Sudbury Wolves. So putting it all on the line here to end this 4-game losing streak. Salandra knocks the puck down at center ice, trying to get to it. Stopped there by Harper. Puck goes back into the North Bay zone. That's sent down the ice. Icing indicated. That's going to be waved off as Hanser will come back to play it. Pazzi on the forecheck, not giving the Colts time to set up. Edgar chips that one into the zone, so no icing. McIver back behind his own net to play it, leaving it there. Here's Pazzi at center ice. He'll skate this one back into his own zone. Greer up the wing. Goes up to Vaughn. He'll flip this one into the Barrie zone. Eliasson chasing after it here for the Colts. Holding it along the boards as Warren putting on the pressure. Vaughn gets the loose puck, drops it back to Warren behind the Colts net. He's tied up by Schneid. Warren trying to put it out in front. That's blocked. Colts recover. Emerton back behind his own net. 11:20 left to go here in the third period. We're tied at 2. Cole Bodwin, 2 goals here in the third period to tie it up. There's the Colts right in this hockey game. Calvin Crombie. He's stopped there by Vaughn. Vaughn passing that one to Callie. That doesn't connect. Colts can't get it out. Battalion with possession. There's the shots, and that's blocked by Emerton. And that's going to go out of play. As we noticed this line quite a bit last night for the Battalion, and they continue to cause issues here for the Barrie Colts.
Pressure here, and you see both coaches checking out. Okay, who's coming out? Line matching continues. Of course, the Battalion with the last line change, the advantage. Some different bodies out there now. Bowden Stewart with Cole Bodwin and Aitchison out there as Moskowitz doubling up. Nice time for Bodwin and the likes of Bodwin, Aitchison.
Well, Bodwin out there right now for the Barrie Colts, passing that one over to Passmore. Ahead for Lowe. He's going to send it around the boards. Loose puck picked up by Aitchison. Sends it back behind the North Bay net. Bodie Stewart after it. Sends it back to Passmore. Passmore around the boards. Aitchison on the far side. Takes the hit. Battalion will get it out. Here's Parker Vaughn at center ice. Vaughn carrying it in. Hits the brakes. Takes the shot. Stopped by Jaswal. Rebound collected by Passmore. Passmore will send that one to Aitchison. Flips this one in the air. At center ice. Off the bench is Wellenreiter. He'll play it. Puck rolling towards the goal. Passmore collects it. Wellenreiter putting on that pressure. Barrie with it. Now it's Carter Lowe through center. He's going to dump it in. Kapangaitis will skate this one out for the Battalion. Going through the neutral zone. Dumps this one in. Back behind the net. Vader thought about playing it, but it rolled to the blue paint where Arvin Jaswal will hold on to it as we're now past the midway point of the third period.
Jaswal wisely not going to take any chance. 9:53 remaining. That puck. As the game moves on, a tie hockey game, all of a sudden the face-offs get that much bigger, that much more important. Winning it in the zones, get possession of the puck. And who's going to be the one that steps up and makes the difference?
Battalion win the faceoff, take the shot, but that was blocked by Teague Vader. Brad Gardner through center, dumps this one in. McIver slows it down. First one on is Crombie, sends it in front, but that's turned aside by Manzo. And now the Battalion will get it out to center ice. Passmore ahead to Crombie, that got by him. Kapagridis sends that one forward. Ends up back in the North Bay zone. Kapagridis will come back after it. Trying that long pass, finds Wellenreiter at center ice. Backhands over to Moses. That's out of his reach. Pass more to Gardner. Brad Gardner up ahead, reaches center ice. Kapagridis ahead for Moses. He's trying to catch up to that loose puck. Aitchison knocks him off stride. Asadorian knocks it down. Ahead, finds Emerton. Cole Emerton at center ice will dump it in. McIver back behind his own net to play it. Gives it up to Kapagridis. Or actually make that Kaprowski. He'll skate this one in. That's going to go back behind the Colts net. Hanser had it for a moment. Puck sent in front. Battalion can't get to it. Harper back. And that shot goes wide in the net. Firing that was Debratsev. Cronin along the boards. Bodwin looked like he got hit in the face by a teammate's stick. Puck comes back. Harper down low. Pazzi trying to go back to Harper. Vader was in the way. Pazzi gets it again in the corner. Trying to send that one back. Harper has it for a moment. Bodwin takes it out of the air, and he's going to skate it up. Cole Bodwin carrying this one in the zone. He's got Desiderio with him. Passes it across to Slander. Spins, fires. That one's blocked. Puck comes the near side. Pazzi's going to go for a skate through the neutral zone. Pazzi on the wing. Takes the shot. That goes well over the net. Puck takes a weird bounce in the corner. Colts will pick it up. Desiderio. Here's the attacking zone. Callie with it. Hits the brakes. Sends it in front, but no one there for North Bay. Stewart gets this one out. Kapagridis playing it ahead for Callie again. Takes a bump there from Newton. Stewart sending it back to Newton. And that's going to be an icing call now against the Barrie Colts with 7:08 remaining.
North Bay ramping up a bit now. Shots 31-24 in favor of North Bay. Shooting Barrie 8-3 so far in this third period. You can feel the intensity level just kind of cranking up and up and up, up and up and up.
Ever so slightly. Well, it's been an entertaining game here between these two rivals. As they shall.
Up here and Dylan Smoswitz's club. I mean, you wondered how are they going to react after that loss at home, tough loss, a game where you had the lead going into the third period to play a strong third and able to win on home ice, but all of a sudden you need to win on the road here.
Gardner put that through the blue paint. Another shot stopped by McIver. Firing that was Aitchison. Bodwin in the corner, sets up Gardner. Gardner with a shot. That's blocked by Enright. Puck sent ahead. Enright catches up to it, and he'll move it out. Sending that one forward. Wellenreiter on the far side hits the brakes. His shot stopped by Jaswal. At the point, Moses puts that one off the official in the corner. Aitchison knocks down his man. That's Amidovsky. Amidovsky gets up, takes a hit there from Passmore as the Colts defense taking down Amidovsky on a pair of chances. Now it's Asadorian up the wing. Enters the zone, hits the brakes. Asadorian comes back to the line. Back to Hanser. Justin Hanser from the half boards finds Bodwin. Cole Bodwin settles it down. Back to Hanser, who's behind the North Bay net. Goes to Asadorian. His shot's blocked. Had his stick lifted. Hanser finds it. His shot's blocked. That was Procession getting in the way, and now Moses trying to play it. Can't get it out. Kept him by Asadorian. Colts trying to recover, but Amidovsky finds it. Goes to Moses, and he's just going to flip this one down the ice. 5:44 left here in the third. Bodie Stewart enters the zone for the Colts towards the net. Desiderio couldn't get there in time. Harper takes Desiderio into the boards, drops it back to Crombie. Crombie back to Hanser. Vader takes the shot into the crowd, hit Bodie Stewart. Colts can't get it as that's turned over. Laird will send that one forward. Battalion move it in. Wellenreiter Hanser lost his stick in the process. Puck's loose. There's a shot from Long, and it goes to the corner. Crombie picking it up now for the Barrie Colts. He'll skate this one forward. Crombie through the neutral zone. He's stopped inside the Battalion line. Puck sent back to center ice. We're in our final 5 minutes here of this third period. We're tied at 2 apiece. Kapowski sending this one into the Barrie zone. Eliasson will pick it up behind his own net. Both teams completing line changes. Eliasson taking his time here. Schneid. He'll skate by. Now Eliasson moves it up. Emerton up the wing. Salandra sends this one forward. Here's Jaden Newton. Newton had his stick lifted. Couldn't get that one to go. Battalion get it out to center ice. Emerton back to Eliasson. Up the wing. Schneid tips that in the North Bay zone. Doesn't go too far. Colts get it at their own blue line once again. Eliasson. This pass deflected. Schneid. He'll dump this one in. McIver out of his net to play it. Sends this one forward. Manzo gets this one out and down the ice. That's going to roll towards the nets and goes wide. And it's now icing against the North Bay Battalion with 4:05 remaining as this one's going right down to the wire.
The checking step up here in this third period, things get a little bit tighter, and both teams are a little bit more careful about where they're going, making sure they're not giving up odd man rushes. But, North Bay, a couple of huge shot blocks there. Barrie had them pinned in their own zone and a couple of opportunities to get some shots away, but getting sticks in the lane, shin pads in the way, and prevent a couple of pucks from getting to the net. And who knows if they do, what happens?
Well, the Colts are getting pucks towards the net. They're being outshot 32-24, but we're seeing that consistency where they're getting that pressure on the offensive end, which we really, over this 4-game losing streak, we haven't seen much of that from the Barrie Colts. And this is a little different from those last games.
Well, they're skating, they're moving their feet. I mean, they got pressure up front on the D. They're not giving North Bay much time and space. And, you can tell this Barrie team is active here. They want it.
So look at the face-off now to the right of Mike McIver, and I see in the comments section someone saying deja vu. We're seeing a little bit of that here tonight. As the Colts send it out, that's going to be deflected to the point, kept in by Passmore. Went off Debratsev. Down low to Baudouin behind the North Bay net. Here's Asadorian. At the line, Passmore shot deflected. Gardner after the loose puck. Gardner at the point for Aitchison. Aitchison to Asadorian. Alex Asadorian at the point. The North Bay player has a broken stick. So then Battalion will get it out. Here's Pazzi. He's got the speed. 2-on-1 developing. Pazzi on the wing. Steers it over the net. And that one's going to be deflected out of play. Is Ignat Pazzi not someone you want to give room?
This guy, whenever he's on the ice, just don't take your eyes off him, and just like the flash, he creates something. He's going to get some speed through the center ice area. The quick snapper there that I think might have hit Passmore, making the deflected wide, but just one of those guys just constantly buzzing out there. And within a second, he just turns that gear up and he's off to the races.
I'm kind of surprised coming into this game. Pazzi just 1 goal, 4 assists in 10 games. Just with the way you play, you kind of think he'd have a few more goals. Mind you, it is early in the season. We'll have to wait and see how it all transpires as the Battalion get this back out to center ice. 3:14 left to go in the third period. Vader reaches center. He's going to dump this one in. Salandra after it. Battle in the corner. Newton to Salandra in front to Schneid, but that stick was blocked by Cam Warren. Hands are back in his own zone. Has to be careful. Ryder Callie on the forecheck. Salandra gets a piece of it, so no icing. Puck rolls to the net. McIver gives it up to Harper. Harper taken to the boards by Schneid. Schneid gives it up to Salandra. Goes behind the North Bay net. In front, it's loose. Puck's still sitting there. Newton trying to get a skate on it. And that puck's going to go to the corner. A dog pile in the North Bay crease. Teague Vader passing it in front. There's Salandra. Stopped by McIver. McIver now picking up his stick as he's doing everything he can to keep this game tied. Newton down to Salandra. Harper will take it back behind his own net. Around the boards. Vaughn gets a stick on it. Sent back to the corner. Harper flips this one in the air, and that's going to go down the ice as the Colts make a line change. Gardner ahead to Vader. Vader enters the zone, flips this to the corner. Beaudoin chasing after it. Around the net. That is Greer. He's going to send it down ice. Emerton inside his own blue line. Vader up to Beaudoin. Gives it up to Gardner. Gardner's going to send this one in, but Acidorian just ahead of the play on the far side. But what a chance for the Barrie Colts just a moment ago.
Oh, what a crazy. That puck was loose in the crease somewhere. Everybody trying to find it. And then Cilantro had an opportunity there to turn and fire it. And that puck got underneath the Kyber, but slid through the crease. And the Colts, the late scramble in front. I mean, there were bodies everywhere in front of that net.
I know it's Sunday football, but it's looking like a football game on the 1 yard line. Colts have it behind their own net. 1:45 now remaining in the period. Gardner trying to get it out. Amidovsky blocked the first attempt, and the second is going to go over the glass and out of play. And I believe this is going to be a delay of game penalty now against Gardner. He doesn't agree with it. Kayshawn Aitchison now coming over to plead his case, but the North Bay Battalion, they're getting a power play late.
Great game of Brad Gardner, and shame that this was the difference maker in this one. Colts penalty kill gonna have to come up big here late.
Right now, Dylan Smoskowitz, the head coach of the Barrie Colts, having a word with the official. They're going to continue this play. Faceoff will come to the left of Arvin Jaswal, so a huge penalty kill to finish off this third period. 1:41 remaining. Beaudoin taking the draw for the Colts. He'll win this one back to Passmore. Passmore sends this one around the glass. Moses keeps it in at the point. Ahead for Procession. Procession behind the net. Callie. Ryder Callie sending it back to Warren. Warren along the boards. Across to Moses. Stopped by Jaswal. What a save. Evan Passmore now trying to get it out. Puck's taken away by the Battalion. They can't get that pass across. And the Colts will clear it. McIver quickly coming out of his net to play it. Ahead for Moses. Drops it back to Callie. Callie in the corner. Tied up by Aitchison. Battle in the corner. Eliason scoops it up, and he's just going to send it down the length of the ice. We're now in the final minute of the third period. The North Bay Battalion are on the power play. As Kent Greer slowly skating up, dropping it back at the line, picking it up, Wellenreiter. Wellenreiter enters the zone, still with it, trying to get around Eliason, back around the Colts net, in front, but not able to connect. There was Long. Harper at the point. Passing it back to Wellenreiter. Fans on the one-timer. Amidovsky's side of the net trying to jam it through, but Jaswal had the paddle down. Wellenreiter again takes the shot, stop, rebound. The Colts will get it out. 20 seconds left here in the period. McIver gives it up to Harper. 15 seconds now. Greer drops it back. Parker Vaughn skates it in. Takes a bump from Newton. Newton losing his stick at the point. Harper, Wellenreiter, his pass stopped by Newton. And that's going to escape the zone. And we're going to get a little overtime here this afternoon. As some tense moments here in these last 5 minutes of this hockey game.
Still 19 seconds remaining in that North Bay power play. And what a huge opportunity for the Battalion to win this one late. Penalty kill, still with some work to do here. And game, this has been back here. I mean, these two teams just fresh off that game last night. You know, we kind of left last night going, that wasn't such a great game. I mean, by both teams, but much better effort by both clubs here tonight. What an entertaining game we have here.
Well, the North Bay Battalion, they were up 2-0 at the end of the second period, and Ethan Procession threw a hit from behind on Cole Beaudoin, and Beaudoin came back in the start of the third period, and the Colts got the momentum, and it was Beaudoin scoring both goals to tie this game at 2, and here we are getting ready for this overtime period. So we'll see who gets the extra point here this afternoon.
So again, the idea that, okay, it's good in overtime, you can play a little bit more loosely, but the point is when you got division rivals up against each other, those extra points, they mean a lot. Especially for this Barrie team. Like I said, you've lost 4 straight. You want to get that streak snap right here. They've had a pretty good effort. You want to see yourselves get rewarded for that.
Now, the Barrie Colts, this is now the 4th time this season their game has gone to overtime, but the previous 3 games needed a shootout. So we'll see what happens here. Well, the North Bay Battalion, this is their 2nd game to go to overtime, and they have a record of 1-0. So the Battalion, they do have the power play for another 19 seconds. The overtime period underway. Face-off won by the Colts. Aitchison quickly gets this one back to center ice, where it's collected by Shamar Moses. Moses dropping it back to Greer. Greer enters the attacking zone. From the corner, Greer taking his time around the Colts net. Power play has come to an end. Here's Warren. His pass is deflected by Baudouin. Moses on the far side as Gardner is back on the ice. Warren on the far side. Passing it over to Greer. Greer takes the shot. Deflected. Jaswal the save. Colts pick it up. Cole Baudouin. He's going to take this one back behind his own net. Baudouin picking up momentum. Reaches center. That's poked away by Procession. Asadorian there to help out. Asadorian doesn't like what he sees, so he's going to peel back. Colts completing a line change. Here's Cole Emerton now. From his own blue line, reaches center. Emerton will carry it in for the Colts. Emerton lost the handle of it. Manzo got a stick there. Baudouin finds the loose puck. Back to Aitchison. Shot stopped by McIver. That rebound will sail back out to center ice. Emerton with possession here for the Colts. Over to Baudouin. Cole Baudouin entering the attacking zone. Has it on the far side. Already 2 goals tonight. Sends it back to Asadorian. Asadorian, his shot stopped by McIver as he's able to get a glove on it.
McIver coming out from the top of that blue paint and that one, not taking any chances. And Procession on that breakout, kind of like the wolf in the hen house that are looking at for a turnover there. And 39 remaining in this overtime. And well, with McIver making that save, we're now 3-on-3 hockey. As the power play expired for Gardner, so it was 4-on-4 there for a few moments. Colts win the faceoff. Gardner comes back to the point. He's just going to take it out to center ice as the Colts try and regroup. Kayshawn Aitchison, he's going to peel back. 3:25 left in overtime. Aitchison facing some pressure there as he's run into the linesman. The fans react. Battalion will pick it up deep in their own zone. Amidovsky, he's got some speed. Here, Amanda Medovsky through the neutral zone, has it on the far side, loses the handle of it. Aitchison's in his way, but Amidovsky plays it from his knees to Harper. Harper doesn't like what he sees, so he's going to go into the neutral zone, and the Battalion want to make a change. Harper, he's going to skate this one ahead through the neutral zone. Harper back to Vaughn. Parker Vaughn at the point, passing this one ahead. Callie kicks that one to the corner, back behind the Barrie net. Baudouin takes it away from him. Baudouin with possession, knocked down. He's able to pass it to Aitchison. Aitchison back to Baudouin. Cole Baudouin losing it there to Parker Vaughn. Vaughn with possession of it, taken there by Callie. Callie across, shot stopped by Jaswal, in front, wide of the net. Vaughn misses an open cage. Oh my. What a chance for the North Bay Battalion. They still have possession. Callie takes the shot. That goes over the net. The puck sailing out to the neutral zone. After it is Kayshawn Aitchison. Aitchison into the attacking zone. Poked away there by Kapagaritas. My, oh my, what a chance for the Battalion. That's center ice. Kapagaritas. He's going to peel back. 1:53 left in overtime. This has been an intense period of hockey. Both teams completing line changes as Wellenreiter winds up. He'll skate through the neutral zone. Hits the brakes. Back to Greer. Greer takes the shot. Jaswal got a blocker on it. Puck's in the corner. Emerton tying up his man. Puck goes behind the Colts net. Picked up by Schneid. William Schneid goes to Asadorian. Alex Asadorian. He'll carry this one in for the Colts. Hits the brakes. Over to Schneid. Schneid waits. Takes his time. Gives it up here to Emerton. Emerton
still with it. Colts are making a line change, dropping it there to Salandra, who comes off the bench. Salandra doesn't take the shot, still with it. Salandra giving it up to Emerton. Emerton gives it up to Schneid. William Schneid gives it up to Salandra. His shot goes over the net, and that's going to go out of play with 59.7 seconds left in overtime.
Circling inside that blue line and looking for the right moment to drop off passes. Schneid eventually is going to give it to Salandra. Is going to walk into the middle of that ice and a quick snapper up and over the net.
Well, the Barrie Colts calling a timeout here, trying to get the right unit out there. But my, oh my, that chance, though, for the North Bay Battalion, I don't know how Parker Vaughn missed that open net.
Well, there's a couple. Then he had a wide open net, the second one, and it just, I don't know how that puck
it was sitting right there. Then Jaswal made the original save, and he's out of position, but
an opportunity that would have been for Parker Vaughn against his former teammates. And those are the ones you see at night, you know.
Exactly.
You close your eyes and
Parker Vaughn had the game on his stick. So after the timeout called by Dylan Smoskowitz, we'll get the faceoff to the left of Mike McIver. As the Barrie Colts going with the usual suspects, Cole Baudouin, along with Brad Gardner and Kayshawn Aitchison. The battalion going with Procession, Moses, and Manzo. Face-off won by the Colts, but that's going to sail all the way back to the Barrie blue line. Kayshawn Aitchison back behind his own net. Procession putting on pressure here as Aitchison took a bit of a slash. Puck comes ahead. Aitchison carrying it in on the wing. Trying to cut to the middle. Backhand, still with it. He wanted a penalty, but Moses took the puck away from him. Now it's the battalion the other way. Ethan Procession, but that puck got away. Puck rolls to the corner. Ethan Procession in the corner. Back to Moses. Shamar Moses comes back to the point. 26 seconds remaining. Moses waits, fires. That goes off his teammate, Manzo. Adrian Manzo. He's just going to take this one out to the neutral zone. 15 seconds left in overtime. Tied at 2. Manzo's going to skate it in for North Bay. Manzo trying to get to the net, but that's knocked away by Baudouin. Puck goes to the corner. Baudouin ahead for Aitchison. 3 seconds. Has it at center ice. Winds up, takes the shot, and puts it wide of the net. And now we're going to need a shootout to solve this one between the Colts and the battalion.
It's been that close, and what an overtime period that was. Young Parker Vaughn, I still can't believe that. I mean, just a yawning cage. Precision, I mean, what a thrower. He's been on the side for Cole Baudouin. 2 veterans going head-to-head in the battle, and no surprise, both teams with their best out there to end this overtime, but hey, we got a shootout.
So for the Barrie Colts, they're familiar with the shootout this season. This is the 4th game needing a shootout, but for the Barrie Colts, they have a record of 1-2. That one win was on the road in Niagara. That was the game where they were down 5-1 and came back to win it 6-5. While the North Bay Battalion, this is the first game this season that they've required a shootout. But what a way to end the rivalry weekend.
Well, a big important point coming up right here, and great hockey this afternoon.
So the Barrie Colts, they're going to shoot first. It's Cole Baudouin coming over the boards. So Baudouin already 2 goals tonight, as he's looking to try and snap their 4-game losing streak. Baudouin picks it up at center ice. He'll go wide. On the far side, slows down, takes the shot, stopped by McIver.
Baudouin trying to sneak one underneath the blocker, and McIver saying, no way.
So the first shooter here for the North Bay Battalion is Nick Wellenrider. He's a crafty one for the battalion. He'll get this one at center ice. He's going to take his time. He weaves into the zone, slows down. Wellenreiter still with it, trying to outweigh Jaswal, and he will. Wellenreiter slowed right down to almost a standstill and gets it past the Colts goaltender.
He came almost to a full stop. There's a lot of shake and bake, and then just right over the glove hand of Jaswell.
So Brad Gardner, who leads the team in scoring, he's the next shooter here for the Barrie Colts. Gardner coming in with some speed on McIver. Takes it, shot wide of the nets. So Gardner puts that one wide, and the Battalion still have the advantage. So Ryder Cali has a chance to win it here tonight for the North Bay Battalion. He had a great goal last night in Barrie. We'll see what Cali does this time. To the net, stopped by Jaswal. So the Colts are still in it. It's going to be Jaden Newton now taking the shot for the Barrie Colts. Mike McIver can win it here with a save. Newton coming in for the Colts. He goes wide on his forehand, stopped by McIver. And the North Bay Battalion, they'll win this one in a shootout by a final score of 3-2.
Well, this is one game where, yeah, it goes into the loss column for the Barrie Colts, but there's a solid effort here on this Sunday afternoon in North Bay. Got down 2-0 in the second period. I thought that was the most consistent, one of the better, more consistent efforts here tonight. Again, the difference in the shootout there, it's one goal by Wellenreiter. The North Bay Battalion ended up sweeping Rivalry weekend here against the Barrie Colts.
So it was a hard-fought matchup here for the Barrie Colts. They were down 2-0 at the end of the second period. Cole Baudouin getting a pair of goals in that third, but there was a couple times there where the Battalion, they could have won that easily with the power play at the end of the third period, and then Parker Vaughn open net. I still don't know how he missed it, but able to win it here in the shootout either way.
So 6 North Bay power plays. They certainly had their opportunities, and then of course Parker Vaughn at the end, and you wonder if Barrie's going to be able to pull it out. And I think it was a better effort, much better effort than we saw on home ice Saturday night, and see if they can carry this one forward. And you don't get the result, you drop loss number 5, but you do get a point out of it. And right now, small victories, you got to take it. And but you certainly want to get to that win column.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, now 5 losses in a row. So now the Barrie Colts have to find a way to get into the win column. Their next game is going to be Friday night in Sudbury, and the Wolves are a team that have some issues to start the season, and we know what's coming in right after that Sudbury game. Dates with the Kitchener Rangers and the Brantford Bulldogs. It's not going to get any easier here for the Barrie Colts as they need to dig deep and end this losing streak.
No, and you look at records and stuff like that, but that means nothing. I mean, Barrie has to come out with the type of effort that they had here tonight against Sudbury. It doesn't matter where they are in the standings and where you are. You got a rebuilding Wolves team, but look, I mean, this Barrie team, they can't afford to be going in thinking, hey, we're going to win. And it was a much better effort here, I think, all around, and that's what you need. You need more of a complete game effort than the one they get here tonight. The one they had here this afternoon. But certainly you want to snap it there and build a little momentum going home against Kitchener on Saturday night.
So we will have the game for you live on the channel when we are up in Sudbury, the first trip to the Sudbury Community Arena. It's always a lot of fun when the Colts and the Wolves battle it out. We'll see if the Colts can snap that 5-game losing streak. But our 3 stars tonight, Mike McIver, the 3rd star for the North Bay Battalion. Cole Baudouin, what a showing in that third period. He's your 2nd star with 2 goals. And then Ryder Cali having a goal here tonight, also with the shootout winner. He's your 1st star. But what can you say about Cole Baudouin here? He was ready to carry this team on his back to victory.
I mean, you saw like what he did. I mean, this guy does anything he can to win. And, look, he gets hit hard at the end of that second period, draws the call. What does he do? How does he respond? Scores 2 goals to tie it up. And, that's just, in a nutshell, that's Cole Baudouin. I mean, this is the guy that, is going to be one of the guys leading the way. And, he did that third period, and as he did throughout the night. But they're able to get a point here. But now got to build on this. But Cole Boulder, I mean that guy's just heart and soul, and I think we saw that here this afternoon.
So it's a final score from North Bay. The Battalion winning 3-2 in the shootout. For Gene Pereira and Mike Poirier saying so long. Tune in on Friday night as we'll get the live stream underway at 6:45 when the Barrie Colts are in Sudbury.